Hey, buddy, what's up?
Not a whole lot, man. Appreciate the invite.
Hitman, huh?
Yeah, Hitman Customs.
I like that. Hey, welcome behind the Anvil Podcast. Appreciate you joining. I know we've been talking about getting you on here for a while, and
I
finally you
appreciate
decided to go, I'll do it. Things I had
it.
to do to get him on here. You don't want to know.
I've just been busy, man. Been busy. Finally, actually being able to get back out in the forge after almost 2 years of it becoming a hobby again. So hopefully pushing full tilt this year and trying to get some more production stuff going.
That's awesome. You know, so you back basically you're kind of back at it full time, is what you're saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Nice. Well, with that being said, we got both got bills to pay, everything else. So, well, for me, Mike's Damascus Knives is brought to you by. Oh, I said this wrong. Cut. Redo again. Here we go. Behind the Anvil. This is why I should just read the ad and not just try to ad lib it. Behind the Anvil is brought to you by Mike's Damascus Knives. Well, that pays the bills, right? You got to cut bills out. I got to cut bills out. So how we do it? We make knives. So you can check out everything on mikesdamascusknives.com. Again, that's mikesdamascusknives.com. You can book a knife class there as well. Order a custom cutlery within my limits of doing so. I don't do stainless steel. So, yeah. Or on Facebook at Mike's Damascus LLC, MDK, Mike D Knives on Instagram, American Bladesmith. I am really should just stick to reading to this. Anyway, I'm going to invite you. Go ahead there, RJ. You would, yeah, plug your shit and make yourself a little ad right off the bat.
Sounds good, man. I'm Ron Goble. My friends call me RJ. I'm based out of Knoxville, Tennessee, and I run Hitman Customs as another bladesmith. We do everything from Damascus work to custom handles and scales, and trying to get back into some production runs here coming up.
Nice. Where can they find you?
Usually on Instagram is where I run most of my business at Hitman Customs. Customs is spelled with a Z at the end instead of an S. And yeah, most of my business I run through there.
Nice. Any website?
Looking forward to it. I'm trying to get into like either an Etsy page or something or an actual website. It's just not something I've actually taken the time to do yet. So
Well, if you need to get into that, I know somebody's pretty helpful on that, on building the website. So he helps maintain mine now. So, because
fantastic.
I'm sure I could probably figure it out if I want to spend the next 6 months doing this every day, which sitting in front of a computer every day doing that, no, just no. I'd probably get fatter than what I am. So like I said, we're trying something new, a little bit different than my general running in, but um, shit, let's jump into it. You messaged me the other day and we were talking about part of your billet was nice and soft, easy to grind, and then you get into the
Oh, yeah.
hard spot. I think he's putting a little bit of Viagra and he's forging, but hey, what
Apparently. Yeah, I was struggling with it was odd. I don't know if it was my vermiculite bucket was not deep enough or the fact that it just was
that's what
cooling
she
down too
said.
quickly. But yeah, just that one side of that billet was actually being just a pain in the butt and not wanting to anneal out for me. And I know we discussed the wood ashes being the problem, or not having wood ashes maybe being the problem. And so I had the vermiculite and the perlite in there, and we decided to throw some ash in there, and actually it ended up working just fine the third time. So
Nice.
the pretty much 50-50 perlite, vermiculite, and wood ash ended up about 30-30-30. Ended up
30,
doing the
30,
trick this time
30.
around. So
I prefer a good 30-30 Winchester.
that's good.
So
Good caliber.
I mean, me and you both understand the nailing. For
Mhm.
those who are maybe just finding this channel the first time, make sure you like, subscribe, both of us, follow on podcast. This podcast is on Spotify, anywhere else here on YouTube, because we're gonna put this on YouTube, by the way. So good thing you did your hair and makeup today.
Oh yeah, totally.
As I
Not much
forgot
of
to
it
turn my
left.
alarm off. So tell us a little bit what annealing is exactly.
I guess my understanding of it is allowing the we'll back up a little bit. So when you're, especially what I was dealing with Damascus, I was dealing with an issue of was either it's like air hardening or what's called work hardening, where when you compress the steel, the layers of steel down into itself more and more and more, the density of the crystalline structure and the steel itself becomes harder just from the air temperature, air hardening, and the compression of it. So annealing allows for stage temperatures that you can come up and hold it at, which will help relax those stresses and within the crystalline structure and within the layers of the steel. Unlike your thermocycling, which does similar things when you're before you quench, but annealing, I usually use it before, like I'm gonna add into a pattern, whether I'm gonna use my pressed dies, whether I'm going to grind in a pattern or anything in that rather than like thermocycling, which does similar stuff, but I usually only generally use it before quenching. So
And then also when you're forging it, and again, this is my understanding as well, as I've been described a dozen different ways on it from everybody who's talked about it. When you're forging the process, especially, either forging the billet out, making the billet, or forging the knife, you're going to put stress into that billet, into that steel, and you're going to have large grain and small grain. And that's part of the annealing process is to try to get that all that grain structure within that steel the same kind of basically the size when you want to
exactly.
when it's going to be relaxed, it's going to have a larger grain structure. Now, when it comes into thermal cycling, I had a guy and I bought a billet here all back. He thermal cycled his, but he didn't nail it. I thought I told him it would be a good idea to nail everything afterwards. Either I told him and he didn't catch it, or I didn't. Either way, it happens. He's like because it had a spring steel core, and he got this. Oh, I had to go out and heat it up and punch through it. It's like, did you anneal it? No, I thermal cycle it. All right, there's your problem. You need to anneal this. And I walked him through how to do it
Right.
properly. And he's like, oh, okay. And from the two knives he pictured out, he ordered his billet a little different. He wanted a half inch by half inch square thing because he felt that was the best way for forging his blades out. And, he don't have a power hammer to look like, so it's all. I'm a guy, truck driver. It's like, well, you could use the extra work being a truck driver. Trust me, I know. I thought I'd be a little more sexy body. This used to be a truck driver body. Now it's a bladesmith body
There you go.
because, like we're talking about sugar and such, we'll dive into that a little bit later. But no, squirrel. Here we go. So a nailing process, basically just relaxing that steel. Whether you're just got done building your billet or you're forging out blanks. For me, I put my blanks all in. If I'm doing a large batch, I like to throw them in my kiln, run it at 1500,
Mhm.
let it set somewhere between 30 and an hour. Sometimes I forget and it just shuts off and it just cools down slowly. Um, Rule of thumb, you want to generally, with your high carbons and Damascus, you want to anneal drop about 50 degrees per hour over to
Mhm.
4 to 8 hours, give or take. So four
Yeah, I've
is
seen it
minimum.
as slowly as you can, essentially over. I usually try, like my best is if you can shoot for 8 hours and it still be warm, that's good. But I was actually able with the wood ash combination. I woke up this morning, I started it and got it in there probably about 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. I got out here at maybe, 10 in the morning and it was still hot. So I
Nice.
mean, we were well past 12 hours, and I had to actually pick it up and set it out in the air to get it to where I could surface grind it this
And
morning.
that was the billet you were having trouble with, right?
Yeah, and as soon as I went to surface grind it this morning, well, I had to cut the end of it off and then go to surface grind it. When I went to cut through the end of it, and it was the hardened side that I was having a trouble with, it went through it like butter,
Hold on one second. We're gonna take a
like it was
pause. We
mild
got
steel.
we got to do a dad moment. All right, this is brought to you by Dad Moments. When you're a single father, you got to take that phone call. The daughter's a little bit nervous about she's got a job interview today at so first job interview other than working for herself, doing little odd jobs here and there. So she's a little nervous. She's like, "Do I got time to come home?" Yeah, you have an hour and probably in 15 minutes before you have to be there, at least an hour. So. Yeah, she's a little bit nervous. It's like it's just go in and da 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 da. Explain your little schedule of your marching band stuff, and then boom, boom, they'll work up a schedule,
Well, good for her. At least she's out there getting one. So.
right? So where were we back then? Dad moments,
Oh well, we were discussing the annealing and like the method that we found that was actually your suggestion that ended up helping out quite a bit was adding the wood ash in there. So
And I used to
With that,
nail, I used to nail in wood ash all the time. Still doing, depending on if it's not big enough to stack up. Again, if I do a big batch of knives, I'll throw them in the kiln, run them up, let it
I
soak.
wish I had one. That's my next big purchase. I'm hoping to get is a nice
Hey,
kiln.
you got your OnlyFans, you get on there and do a little jiggle.
You know, those proceeds go to other aspects of my life, though. I got motorcycles and a girlfriend I got to deal with.
Hey, you know what? Girlfriends are probably awesome, but I've decided here lately I'm just not going to start. No, I'm going to go single for a while again. Less headache. I've went on a few dates in the last few months, and yeah, I'm not going to put all the effort into shit. I mean, I got stuff to do, so I don't know. It's just a waste of time, in my opinion, anymore. So I don't know. But
Now with
anyway,
the yeah, but hey,
well, maybe I ought to just get a motorcycle. I mean, I'd be married to that more than anything, like my knife shop.
I say motorcycles and girlfriends are expensive ordeals. I've got three of them right now, and one of them I finally got running after not even being able to ride it for 3 years, and did all the fluids and
That's a
battery and all
bicycle,
that
not a
fun stuff.
girlfriend, right?
Huh?
That's the motorbike, not the girlfriend.
Oh yeah, yeah. The girlfriend needs new batteries. You know.
Apparently, you're not doing your job, bud. Oh, that's just
Oh
terrible.
well.
Um, I got thinking, sitting there thinking about everything, talking about your issue. So on that back, like you said, the first half, what, 6 inches was really good. You're able to cut through it. It's just that last little bit towards the end of the billet. Probably just got about what, maybe just a layer of 1084 right there.
Yeah, the outer two layers, which when you mentioned it, ended up being my assumption as well, is that the 1084 that was on the outside of the jacket, or like there were the two outsides, plus the decarbonization was the actual areas that were hardened. Once I got down into the core of it, throughout the first bit of it, it was a little bit hard, but the core was relatively soft. But with the wood ash added into it, what I really think it did is that perlite and the vermiculite are such large grains in the bucket that there's a lot of space for that area to pass through, the heat to pass through and get through, and
Yeah.
expel out of it. When we added the wood ash into it, I mean, the density was tenfold what it was. I ended up which we discussed, was I took two of those 1045 hammer blanks that I had, heated them up actually quite a bit higher. I think I took them up to around 1700 and then put them in, and then brought the temp down quickly, opened the doors of the forge, put the billet in there, allowed it to get up to about that 1550, and then put it with the that thicker side that needed to be annealed straight down right between where the two hammer blanks were sitting. So I think that really helped as well, as like keeping that temperature, allowing it to stay hot for much longer. So
Yeah. We want it to cool off slow.
mm.
I never could understand why that just, even I understand what the chemistry is going on, but why is it just like one little spot gets a little surface? Even being 1084 is usually not that bad. I mean, even when you're just forging blanks out of 1084, you get that one little spot. It doesn't want to anneal, especially when you're trying to go through a drill bit. And it's just like, I know I nailed this. What the hell? It's just that one little spot. And that's probably
I
just a
actually
little
found that
bit.
in tempering with 1084 too. Sometimes when I've done like my stone washes and stuff with after I've hardened it and tempered it out, that there'll be one area like in the dead middle of the blade that'll be a different color, or you'll see like a ghost ring around it when you do the etching and then stone washing on it. That just for whatever reason, there'll be that one little area that just won't harden or won't temper back out. So.
And it's weird. It's the secret of steel.
Well, that's a lot of where you get it too. So like I try to go through either like, a couple of the
Apparently,
bigger
you
names
haven't
like
seen that
Pops
movie,
and
right?
what was it?
The Secret of Steel.
I don't think I've seen that one. No,
Never seen Conan?
I don't think so. No.
You've never watched Conan the Barbarian?
Oh, Conan. Yeah, like yeah, long time ago.
Yeah, The
But
Secret of Steel.
okay, yeah, I haven't caught the reference, but yeah, I'll have to go back
Somebody
and
hasn't had his coffee today.
no, I actually have not. Have not. I'm
Second
actually
cup.
done a half a day's worth of work this morning.
I went to bed early last night about 8. I fell asleep on the couch, and my daughter kept waking me up for weird, dumb things. And I'm like, "Will you just sleep?" That's it. I'm going to my room. the dogs are your responsibility. And I died. I woke up about 3 in the morning, went back, rolled back over, went back to sleep. I slept really good, and then about 6 o'clock, my alarm went off, hit snooze for a half hour. But I decided I need to get up because I got some blades I gotta um, get file worked a little bit and get them heat treated, and then just so they're tempering. So I'm doing pretty good. I got a couple of knife classes this weekend,
Nice.
back to back, which I normally don't do that, but we had to reschedule from the one previous month, and it's like, you know what? I'll knock them both out, and then I'll take Sunday and Monday off. So
There you go.
recover days and housework days, and it never ends. Oh, but anyway, there was a way I was going to go with this, but I'm not 100% sure. But how's life going with you, bud? I mean, everything
Oh,
going
been
good?
good. Yeah, I mean, just getting back in the swing of things again is a big change in my schedule, but it's keeping me more busy. I've been doing a lot of house projects this spring, and I got tired of doing them. I've dumped so much money and time into some of the things in the house that I was like, man, I just need to get back to work for a little bit. So this, I'm a ADHD and autistic, so it's like what really helps me is getting out here and just being able to focus on one thing at a time with the bladesmithing. Each step, all the different processes, getting to play with all my fun tools, and so
You
this
mean
is
you're
like
not
my
like me
zen
that
area.
you're not like one of those that can go start one project here, have another project over here, and just do the do and still get stuff done?
My
There's
yeah,
days.
my shop looks like it has a tornado coming through, but I've got probably about six different things going on at one time. And if anybody ever came in here and asked me where my tools were, I can find them. But if you didn't know what you were doing walking in here, it would look like a tornado come through it.
Yeah, it's like anybody. I've said it before in the show here. My hammer could be sitting right here. If you picked it up and moved it 3 inches off where
Yep.
it was, I will spend 30 minutes finding that and then probably throwing it at you if after I finally found it that you moved it 3 inches. I mean, it's just 3 inches. You think my eye would catch it? No, because my mama mastery and the brain memory,
Was
and
it
it's just like
here?
it's right here.
Man, I do that all the time where I like walk inside with a blade or something where I'm having to like do the oiling or I'm doing like a coffee etch or something, and I'll set it down and I'll literally have where it's sitting here, and oh, okay, cool,
Whew.
yeah, I walk away, you turn it like that, my brain just doesn't. I'll literally look over the top of it four different times, and then the first time I go, "Hey, babe," oh, there it is. As soon as I ask, though, and it drives her crazy.
It
Sometimes
changed out
I'll
your
just literally
focus.
yell out.
Yeah, I do the same damn thing. It's like I just said it right here. Where the hell is it? It's right here, or it happened to drop and you didn't notice it. I hate those days like that. Um, so I threw every now and then I like to throw stuff on my Facebook, personal Facebook, just to ask questions, dumb
Mhm.
questions, and one of them about Bigfoot. We'll dive into that a little bit here in a
I
minute.
saw that one. Yeah,
What's that?
I said I did see that one. The one about Bigfoot. You're
Yeah,
saying? Yeah.
I think it's quite funny. I'm going to be honest with you. If I ever did find actual 100% evidence, there's we did, picked up a bone or whatever, and you find the rest of it. I don't think I'd say shit because you've seen people that, that have got some evidence, look pretty critical. People just ridicule the shit out of you. I mean,
Same thing with
there's people
aliens. If
show
I
up.
was ever visited by aliens, I wouldn't tell anybody because nobody's gonna believe you. And at the same time, I'm like, yeah, that's just for
Well,
me.
you're from Tennessee and they do a lot of backdoor stuff out there. So, no, or is that's more the southern
No, we
states.
have we have skinwalkers and cryptids around here.
Well, same here. Skinwalker Ranch. We've got the Skinwalker Ranch out here. There's a couple places that, well, here it's about an hour drive from here. I hate going through that area. Supposedly there's an Indian burial ground back up in the hillside there.
Oh, we got tons of those around here.
No, I don't. I don't like that area, especially at night. Everyone's like, "Oh, you're just imagining." No, I've seen some shit. But the other one before that, I put on asking about myths of. Oh hell, I forgot I had that book right there about Sasquatch. Huh? I got a bunch of books up here. I just looked up. Speaking of the Sasquatch, so I'll have to pull that back down and read that through that again. Probably take me another 10 years to do it, but anyway, back to it. I threw on, myths and myths, something about myths about bladesmithing, myths and something else. I think it was just about myths. And one of the comments I saw was kind of interesting. I had to chuckle at it because he says, more or less along the lines of doing a full body quench on a knife and then go back and blue back in it. And I get what he's saying, but at the same time, back to the grain structure,
Mm,
honestly, you again, correct me if I'm wrong, see what you think on this. So doing a full body quench on it,
okay.
you quench it, you temper the whole thing, the grain structure all together are all in line with each other. Maybe shrink it down to where you want to get that really, really tiny grain
Hmm.
structure. I think if you're doing that, again, the purpose is leaving it hot and doing an edge quench is to leave the grain structure and softer on the back. But in my mind, I feel that it makes it more of a brittle blade. Again, just my thinking.
With a smaller grain structure, if you're or say when you're doing an edge quench, the remaining portion of the steel that's not hardened, are you asking if it having a larger or smaller grain
I
structure?
would say I'd have a larger because, again, when I do my on my blades, I full
Mhm.
quench, full temper, go back, and then I blue back. I run the edge of the water. I run my blades edge in the water, and then I blue back the tang.
Oh, okay, yeah, where you're torching the back edge. Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, of course. No, that would definitely it helps when you quench it. Yeah, it would definitely keep the structure of the rest of the blade softer.
Yes.
And but I'm trying to think of the only times I've ever really seen that done, like I've done it myself, was with like a maul, like a big
Mhm.
axe, where I've done I've quenched the whole thing, pulled it back out, done the same thing, and then where you hammer it, especially with a maul, you can hit a maul with a sledgehammer. You don't want to do it with an axe, but
Yeah.
when you're hitting a maul with a sledgehammer, I like to soften those big time because I'd rather the that knurl or that thing knurl over into form than for it to shatter.
Yeah.
But if you were to do that, do an edge quench, I mean, if you take your entire blade when you do your thermocycling to the desired um,
Temperature.
uh, crystalline structure, like
Yes.
how big you want the grain in it, when you quench it, the residual heat and tempering does help relieve those stresses, soften it a bit, and I guess the edge would still be smaller. It would shrink as soon as it goes into the quench.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, and I get what the comment was referring to and everything else. You're kind of
mhm.
wasting your time a little bit, but at the same time, I'd rather have all the grain structure at once from the edge to the spine after heat treat, the same,
Yeah,
same with tempering, and then
yeah,
I go back and blue backing, drawing it
okay.
down to a full blue. Makes more sense than doing an edge quench because again, the force.
Oh, I see. Okay, I get what you're asking. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
kind of
yeah, yeah.
it's kind of the same thing. So, and I have a hard time explaining myself sometimes. Words
Oh
are
no, you're fine.
hard, but that's what I'm thinking. In my mind, just doing an edge quench, still leaving because that makes me feel like there's two different. Like there's going to be a line between where you quench. Granted, that heat's going to run back down a little bit and do self tempering in that, but you still
Right.
probably be able to have a large grain pattern in the back of your blade. It's still going to be a lot softer. I don't know. I just feel like it makes a better blade doing a full quench and then drawing it. And I know I blew back all my blades, all of my Damascus, all my high carbons. Why? Because it just feels weird not to do it because I've been doing it for ever since I started.
Hmm.
Um,
I've never done one of the like softening with a torch that way. I've
and
done
it,
most of mine just oven tempering, and then I go straight in. Which now I've kind of switched to doing most of my bevel grinds after heat treat. Helps with
you're
warping
brave.
and stuff on. So um, most of mine, what I do is I just end up I quench, I temper both cycles, and then I go straight into grinding the bevels.
So what? So I guess there really probably ain't a difference, but in my mind, I just think I'd rather have the whole blade heat treated and then go back and soften it. And everyone's like, "Well, soften." You're killing the. Let's say, all right, hardness scale on 65 on the Rockwell scale. You got
Right.
65 for most of your carbon steels, and So when you temper it, my Damascus, my cable, I do it at 3 1/4, 325 degrees.
Okay.
I leave because I want to go for more of the harder edge, the cutlery edge, and then that's why I go back and I blue back. So you have the benefit of both worlds.
Okay.
And I'm drawing it to a full blue, which is drops that hardness, the spine down, and I'm figuring about maybe low to mid 40 range, give or take.
Okay. So you're taking it all, yeah, almost.
Yeah, I'm taking it way down and leaving that edge probably somewhere 60 to 62, 63, somewhere right in there, because
Yeah.
it's 3 1/4, give or take. Um, and I know some people are probably like going, well, for straight steel, for like 1084 by 5160, depending on the application, I'll run it at 400. If it's kitchen cutlery, I'll probably go 375. Again, I come back in the back and I do blue back everything. And then actually, I've done this a little bit. I haven't noticed any difference. Sometimes I'll blue back them and I'll throw them back in the oven and do another temper cycle. Can't hurt it. I don't think it can hurt it. Unless
Yeah, I
you
think
check.
that definitely would help the transitions between where you flame it
Hmm.
and your hardened edge. That would
Yeah.
definitely, if you threw it back in for another, just even a short, like a single hour, would help make the transitions between the two a little bit better, a little smoother.
So I don't know. I mean, edge quenching, cool if you're in a hurry. I guess for more a tool, would be great, but I think for cutlery purposes, I think a full quench is better than blue back and then coming back
I
and
I
blue
prefer
backing.
doing I prefer that as well. I would much rather do it all about just in one cycle or one quenching temperature, then go into your cycles, and then if you choose to do the blue backing, then that would be definitely I would prefer that over an edge quench.
And another thing that's real cool is the way I blue back it, you get somewhat of a harmonic out of it. You can see the differential temper
Right.
line. So I think that's cool. Like I said, I've been doing it. I started out making Damascus using O1 tool steel and A36 mousing. That's what Dad used. Dad got that from Bill Moran when he took his Damascus making class back when I was like a month old. So that was back in the 80s. So. But yeah, I mean that's just my I theories is I get what he's saying, and but at the same time, I think it's application dependent. I guess. I
Right.
mean,
Right.
if it's gonna be a chopper, a big heavy chopper, thick spine, yeah, you could get away with that. I think without any problem.
Yeah, things like that, cleavers and whatnot, I could see like edge quenching being a useful tool. But yeah, I mean that just I guess that would just really just come down to preference. That's I see both being useful, but like again, like you said, the depends on the application.
Yes.
So
Like oh, for shit's sake, the Bardiche they made edge quenched it. Um, but and you could definitely tell because I had to go back in through and try to put some extra holes in it because I made it way too heavy. Um, and you could definitely feel where it was quenched at temperature.
mhm.
And then go back through, you can find that there's definitely a line there, and then there's some other spots I was able to drill back through after being, quenching, and then tempering. Good
Right.
Lord. I need more coffee, apparently. Um, so there was something else I was gonna. Oh, another thing is there's a big debate on spring steels because there is a variety of different spring steels.
Mhm.
And I chuckle. And it's like there's a lot of people. Well, it's 5160. If it's automotive springs, more likely that is going to be 5160 is what they use. Since 1965 to about 68, they started standardizing that in the heavy truck industry and automotive, 5160. And that's a fact. You can go look that up. I
Mhm.
researched it
Mhm.
because there was a lot of debate on it. So a lot of your car spring, your coil springs, leaf springs, all that was made out of 5160. Yes, the heat treat and temperature kind of changes it into a spring, but your base metal is still 5160.
Right.
What say you?
I haven't really dealt much with spring steels, but as far as I've ever known, like especially more modern cars or even post the as far as any of the ones I've worked on, I've I've seen that it was 5160, or it's behaved like more like 5160 than anything else. So
Yeah, that's just kind of a rule of thumb, and I just call it either. I just go. Dustin made a comment. Was talking about if we just label it high carbon, which is the higher carbon, which is about 60. It's 51 is the series number, and
mhm.
60 is the .60 carbon of
Yep.
the steel. So just call it high carbon steel. You're good to go.
Most
But
of what I've dealt with is the 10 series and of course adding the 15 and 20s. I was getting into a little bit of the CRV2, but with me not being able to have a kiln and whatnot, the tempering and the heat treatment for it was kind of out of the question for me right now. So
why
I
is
started
that?
doing it and made a couple.
So why was that? Is it a certain
Um,
temperature or
yeah, and it's just, I may have my steels wrong. Does the ADCRV2 have the is it air quenched or is it oil quenched? Because I know stainless that I tried to do stainless, but then with it having to be air quenched, I don't have any of the plates or anything yet. But the ADCRV2, no, it is oil quenched, isn't it?
yeah, I think hold on. ADC V oh good Lord. What's the designation again?
The ADCRV2. Yeah,
ADCVR2.
CRV.
Yeah. My brain was trying to say it backwards like CVR or VCR. VCR is where it was going.
Uh,
Steel
don't remind me.
and oil. Oh my God. I am being retarded here. Man.
But yeah, I've been versing out into more, but most of what I use baseline is 1084 for most of my like monosteel blades.
It is oil
Um,
quench. So there we go. So
it
there.
is. I thought there was something weird about it. Anyway, it is one that I've wanted to get into is the ADCRV2. I know a lot of people are using it in their Damascus and sand mines and stuff as the core material. So, I could go make my normal 1084, 15, and 20, and then throw that core of ADCRV2 in it. And I don't know the exact metallurgy difference in it, but I know that it's a little bit better to deal with. And a lot of people are actually seeking it out more, whether it's Jason Knight and those guys making it so popular or what. But like, I've really wanted to get into using it coming up this next year.
I
So,
did find
and,
out
and stainless.
I did find out the hard way, and it didn't lose the blade, but um, I used O1 for core material, and I found out and right at the back of it, there's a little split in the O1 itself. I'm like, that's weird. It was able to grind it out, but later I was out to Ohio, their Adelaide shop, and they were talking about it, and they was like, somebody brought that up and was talking about it. Says for some reason, if you use O1 as a core material for a samurai, it will split right down the middle.
Huh.
It'll tear itself apart. I don't know why. If I don't know if that's
And
because
it's
the
tears
tooling.
itself within the
Yeah,
O2?
it'll the old one it will split.
Or the
Or
O1, yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I was like, oh, that explains
Hmm.
my little deal. And I told him, it says I was able to grind it out because it was just in the back part. Everything else stays fine. Ever throughout the
Is it me
blade.
or
Just
you?
what's that?
Oh, breaking up a little bit. Is it me or you? No, my. Oh,
Hey,
what?
that's my internet problem. Your internet
Oh,
is
you're good.
unstable because the wind just blew.
Yeah, we got some storms coming through here too. I was wondering if it was my internet or not. So,
It was mine because my computer. Yeah, there we go. We're back to full.
yeah. All good. All good.
When Starlink gets a little bit better service through this area, it's really good for download, but upload here is a lot slower. So it's not, I mean, I'm on fiber, comes fiber right to the house, but still, if the wind blows, it moves, it jiggles it. It's sensitive like a woman, I guess. I don't know.
Well, that's
You
weird.
can
Most
send
of the
your hate
fiber
mail
optic
to
out here,
the RJ there. So if women want to,
yeah, most of the fiber we do out here in Tennessee, I think they bury it whenever they have it out here. So,
well,
but I
it's
think our
it's
street's
buried,
going to do it eventually.
and then they ran it on the poles. So.
That's weird.
Well, we're out in the west, so telephone poles are everywhere. I don't know. The main lines are the main heavy lines are all buried, It's just when it comes down to the housing, they just instead of running
Oh, okay.
so that to the houses from the ground up to wherever it comes out of the ground, the service section to the town, that comes fiber to the
That
house.
makes sense. Probably for digging issues, so you don't have to worry about cutting that stuff because it's expensive to be repaired.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah, I've
that
got
buddy
a
of mine hit some last year, and
Sam was telling me so they hit a few fiber lines and that cost the company a lot of money to repair.
cost my
To,
buddy I think it was like 10, almost 10,000 to have because he was digging for his company and was digging in a guy's house, and they didn't figure out that there was whatever was there, and they hit it, and he was like, "Yep, it was like a $10,000 fine and repair and all that on it." Yeah, to like it was a fine to the business plus the repair. So
ouch.
yeah, I always call 811.
Yeah, 811 and but they don't usually get it right either because you watch some of the construction videos and such about that is hilarious. But
That's why I get metal shards in my finger. Ow.
yeah, I like it when you get like I'm sure I'll have one. I'll find it. I was out doing my file working, and I do rope pattern file work on the back of the blades. I don't do it as much as I used to because I got tired of doing it. But then I found a new way to do it faster and it's easier. But I still don't like doing it because I've done it forever. But I'm getting myself to go back into doing it because it looks better. I'll take my Dremel and then cut it this way and then cut it this way and then finish it with the file. Used to do it all with a file. I'll tell you what, that's hard on the elbows now. I'm over 40, so Dremel, there is tool for the right job. Works smarter, not harder. You know what I mean?
I try to nowadays, man. I got even like hand sanding and stuff. Like I either do it in sections now, or I'll like do a grit, take a break, do a grit, take a break. And like I get to the point where I like my hands are cramping just from sitting here doing this for an hour or two,
That's
three
he's
sitting here.
talking about sanding blades and not sanding
Yeah.
something out. You know what I do for that? When I usually don't. I can do enough uh on the belt, get it to 400, and then inch, and I had no problem. But like for my kitchen cutlery, the bigger, wider, flatter blades.
Mhm.
For some reason, when I get up to 400, I have issues with ripple in it. So
Right.
I'll just go up to 120, sometimes to 220. But I use an DA, Orbital DA center,
Hmm.
air
I
center.
guess I've always worried about gouging with those
I never had a problem with
with
it.
the higher grits.
Um, I did go up to 600 a few, but I found for what my etching for my stuff, anything more than 400 kind of waste of time, in my opinion.
Right.
I've seen people they'll go
Ferric
pay.
chloride, I would agree, but if I'm doing using something like the gator piss or something, I usually have to go. You have to go a little bit higher to get a good cleaner edge.
I haven't tried that
So
yet. So
I
what
like
is
it, but like I said, you have to go to a little bit higher grits depending on the finish. But I mean, it's excellent. But it etches and darkens a lot at the same time. I usually do coffee etches afterwards anyway. But my two tanks I've got sitting over there are the standard gator piss and then a diluted ferric chloride.
nice? Um, I like I said on the bigger blades, I'll get my air center. It's the same one you use in
Mhm.
automotive. Got the soft pad to it. Um, but my issues I was having with that was getting into the plunge line on the blade
Right.
and everything else until I watched the video of Jay Nilsson that I've been catching him in the corner above your head there watching
Oh
an
yeah,
episode of
I keep forgetting that's on.
everyone's like, oh, somebody, I can't remember who said it. I don't understand why people have TVs in their shots working. I said, well, movies become basically audiobooks when you're working. I don't sit there and watch the movie. I like to listen to it.
Most of the time, I've either got Forged in Fire, or like American Dad, or Family Guy playing in or South Park playing in the background, and I've seen all those episodes so many times that it's just background noise. There
With me, it's usually just Star Trek or
you go.
I'm listening to Joe Rogan right now on Spotify on one episode.
Yeah.
Yes. Why don't you go get you a drink and go relax if you want to go sit over there? Look like you're getting antsy. I'll go get you a drink and go sit there for a minute, I guess. If you, I would leave in about 15 minutes. Okay. Okay. And just fine. I don't want everybody getting thinking I'm too heavenly.
Oh.
Okay. All right. Love you. Go. We're on air here. Interruptions.
Good luck.
He says, "Good luck." She says, "I heard that." Teenagers,
Goodness.
tell me about it. She just today was pretty much the last day of school, so my gas bill gets to go down for a little bit until she gets her own job, and then she can pay for her own damn gas. Oh heavens! Yes. The hell were we talking about there? Thanks. You
So,
screwed me up.
you're talking about
Oh,
the
audiobooks,
01.
listening to TV and such. Okay.
Oh yeah, well, you were talking about Jay Nielsen's and where your something about
Oh,
your plunge
that's right.
lines.
So
Yeah.
what? And I never, I can't remember the name of the compound. You go back and listen to the episode I did with Jay and Shelley um, earlier this year. Well, he'll go over to a Scotch-Brite, hit up the Scotch-Brite belt on a little
Hmm.
section, hit it right there, and then goes over in the buffer. And I want to say the green compound. Jay, if
Okay.
you're listening, if I got the compound wrong, I'm sorry. Okay, there's only so much and I tried that with the when I do the sanding because it takes it. He says, "Don't sit there with a little boxes where you're going to trying to get it just perfect. Hit it with a Scotch-Brite belt. Go over, hit it with the buffer, and you're done."
I actually recently, the last year, I got it. I had some of the combat abrasives, Scotch Brite belts, man, and I absolutely love them. So I mean, a lot of what I'll do is either I'll start with getting like my 320 sandings out, and I'll go back over it with the brown one, um, hit it with a little bit of sandpaper at like 800, and then hit it with the blue one, and then go straight to the polishing. So.
Phoenix abrasive stuff's better.
I'd see that. I've always used. I had another guy message me the other day. He was like, "Why do you always, tag combat abrasives in your stuff?" I was like, "Well, hopefully one day sponsorship."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
Sean Phoenix abrasive, combat races. Hey, we'll take on. I'll support
but
anybody. Matter
I
of
do
fact,
want to check out some of the other
I'll make
guys. Like,
sure we throw some links into that to both of them. There we go. All right,
cool.
AI, if you're listening, recording this, make sure you put links in for Phoenix Abrasive and Combat Abrasives. Thank you. It records as we go along here a summary so I can use that AI. Oh my God, he uses AI. We're all gonna die. This, whatever. Um, I use that to plug it over to ChatGPT. Hey, give me a short description of the episode with the links, blah, 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 blah. Then we're done.
Oh, yep, that one's on. Oh,
God, I
probably
forgot
good.
you're 2 hours ahead of us too. So,
Yeah,
um,
she works real early. She gets to work at like 7 and gets off at like 2 or 2:30. So.
nice. She can come in and join in on the episode if she wants to.
She's pretty shy. We'll have to see if
Oh, that makes it
oh,
even
she
funner.
knows I'm doing this, so she's probably just gonna walk straight inside.
Don't gotta
So
say hi. How rude. Um,
no, she's gonna go kick her feet up and tell me to piss off for a little while.
I don't blame her. I mean,
Let her
uh,
decompress.
so how far are you from Pigeon Forge?
Well, nowadays, since the Great Migration to Tennessee, it used to be like 45 minutes to an hour. Now it's more like an hour and a half to get all the way up to Pigeon Forge. But to like the Sevierville exit, which takes then another 30 to 45 minutes to get to Pigeon Forge, is only like maybe 40 minutes. So,
Dustin Rhodes
but
and
we've got
Sean.
like two or three different ways I can go. I can go up I-40 and go through Sevierville, which is like where all the real touristy stuff is, or my favorite way to go is I go out through Maryville and can go through the back of the Appalachian Mountains and come out like right in the middle of it. But yeah, there's a bunch of big, nice, curvy roads and creeks, and we got like the Blue Ridge Parkway and all kinds of fun stuff up that direction.
That
So
sounds like a hell of a nice ride.
yeah, if I'm going on the bike, that's definitely the way I go.
I'm trying to get that on the Dragon. You got the Dragon towards the east there.
Mhm.
There's a lady that owns Dragon City. I'm trying to get her on here, and boy, that woman is busy. So
Yeah,
hopefully we get up there. Gonna try to get a few knives into her store, see how they do. That'd be awesome to pick up.
Yeah, one of my goals, hopefully one day, is I talked to them a couple years ago when I first got into it and was doing like my starting Damascus. But Smoky Mountain Knife Works is right here in Sevierville, which if my
Been
knowledge
there.
serves if my knowledge serves me right, he started off as a knife. The guy that owns it started off as a knife maker and then grew it to the business that it is now.
Yeah,
Um, so it's like I went in and talked to one of the guys. The guys were like, "Yeah, bring us a couple. We'll stick them in the case, work out a commission or something." And I never really got back to him about it, but that's one of my next goals is trying to get my brand
sound
out a little more and then find like a storefront like that. So
that's kind of my mission too. And I've been thinking about reaching out to a few YouTubers, podcasters that got a big on. You going, bye bye? All right, good luck. Um, and reaching out there, a lot of them's got merch stores, and I look on them and I was like, well, they ain't got a knife. I just need to sit down and write out something, a pitch to them, and say, hey, I honestly, if I could stop making my stuff for a little bit and get like two or three of those YouTubers with a standard size knife, maybe some different stuff for them, send them out for their merch stores, that'd be awesome. I would just want to be a less stress, and maybe I get a few people working under me. And everybody's like, well, you'll be
wish I
working.
had the room to have a employee. I mean, I'm in a single car garage and I can't even hardly add any more equipment because I'm running out of space. And just along with me in here, if I have another person trying to go side by side, no.
Oh, I got two different shops. They're in line with each other. It's actually my dad's original shops when he first started on this property because we lived here up till I was 8 years old, until we moved to the family farm. We sold this place, family sold this place. Then I was able to pick it up 20 years later after we moved out. So I'm set up in there. I'm definitely out of room for adding equipment. I could have two people working for me comfortably. One
That's
leave my bench alone. This is my area. You touch it, you lose a digit, kind of thing. But I've got enough room in the next section for mainly probably doing layup, fit and finish, gluing, the
right.
stuff I absolutely can't stand. I mean, I'll do the
Can't
grinding,
say
the
anything.
heat treat, the file work, all that stuff I can do. Maybe if their board needs some, I'll set up a little jig so they can get the pinholes in the right spot all the time. But that's kind of one of my goals. It'd be nice to get a small manufacturing kind of, and then build up to where Montana Knife Company is. But on
Mhm.
the not the level they're doing. I watched a lot of their videos and looked at their advertising. They've got a lot of CNC stuff they do, which is awesome. And then the fit and finish part, I'm sure they touch up. It's really cool to see that. But I want to take basically what me and you do and have a few Smiths work under me, kind of
Right.
like a
Yeah.
gun shop.
Mhm.
So that's my
Yeah. That's
goal.
definitely the goal. Yeah.
So you're gonna get some new neighbors. Dustin Rhodes and Cheyenne's moving in down there.
Oh, okay.
They're I guess probably in the next week or so. He bought a little place just outside of Pigeon Forge, about 20
Okay.
minutes.
Yeah, I think what's his name? He was on Forge and Fire. Is it Randy McBurney? Has got a shop up there. Cowboy looking guy.
Oh, you mean yeah?
What's his name?
Iron Man Metalcraft.
I met him once at Rod Run a couple years ago, and
Yeah, and I
it's
can't
slipping
think
my
of his
mind.
name.
It's not Randy. Randy McBurney's a different buddy of mine.
No, it's oh for shit! You had to say so. Hold on, let me go find his name.
But I can
Iron.
see his face, and I know the episode he was on, but like, uh,
Oh, for hell's sakes! What is
what's
his
his
name?
name? No, I'm sorry.
Well, he's actually coming down and taking over. I guess they have a Forge Your Memory deal out in front of Smoky Mountain Knife Works in their parking lot, set up in the corner. And Dustin and Cheyenne's taking that over and kind of making like a Forge Your Memory trading post type thing out of it. And they'll be doing basically the same thing there. Taking it, Robbie. That's the name, Robbie. There we
Bobby.
go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was about
Robbie
to say
Bowman.
Randy McBurney's a guy I used to get some wood scales from. Yeah,
Um,
great scales maker too.
Speaking of
So,
scales, Jesse U. Grant. He's in Marysville. Does some awesome burrows, curls, and swirls.
oh yes, I do. I do follow him. Yeah,
Yeah,
I've
he
spoken with him a
does.
couple of times on Instagram. Yeah.
I used to spend a lot of money with him, and when things were going good, and he used to do his live auctions, or I'd be sitting there drinking a little bit too much, and I spend a little too much money. But He's got some beautiful stuff.
Yeah, I'll have to look into his stuff again and link up with him if he's just that close. I didn't realize he was here
Yeah, he's
in
just there
East
in
Tennessee.
Niceville.
So
I mean, hey, if you need
yeah,
a
that's
new,
literally across the river from me. So
yeah. Um, aren't you out there close where Sean Ryan has his podcast? Isn't that the same area?
I'm not
Where
sure.
else? Or is he on the other part of the state? I thought he was just outside Knoxville. I don't know.
I'm not quite sure. So
That's another podcast that maybe God will find me, get me away on there. I'd love to get on there. That'd be fun. Um, but yeah, so oh man, I just went dead on what I was thinking here. God damn it, these squirrel moments. So, all right, let's dive into your shit. Tell me a little bit more what you're working on lately. I mean, what is your? I know you do mosaic and feather and stuff like that, and
mhm.
I look at your stuff, think I need to step it up, but I'm still trying to pay the bills, so I can't do exactly the high-end stuff like and give it the proper attention that I need to.
Recently, more so, I've got a like an EDC series that I'm doing, just the same knife, but just I've been working on different segmented handles, learning to work with a little bit different handle materials, and then of course the Damascus. I've been getting into. I've got three different mosaics I'm working on right now that I'm hoping I'll have them ready for Blade Show Atlanta 2027. Um, but it's going to be a couple multi-bar mosaics. Like I don't know if anybody watched any of like Sharap's work on YouTube. I don't know, I may be butchering the way you say his name, but he does a couple really cool mosaics with multi bars on top and bottom and draws it. Man, I've been dying to get into those more. And then of course with the Smoky Mountain Knife Works, my goal for them would be to like have like maybe 4 or 5 of these EDCs and like 1 or 2 chef knives to be able to take up there and have. So like those are really my main point is doing the EDC to try to keep myself a little bit more consistent. Um, and then the mosaics to really kind of try to push the boundaries. So
Nice. Have you done any folders?
no, I've just got this mini mill here soon or recently. I'm still learning how to do it, learning the precision and the different aspects of it, and the different toolings for it. But my goal eventually will be to get into the locking folders. So once I can get some more actual education on the mill.
Yeah, you don't need a mill to make folders.
Okay, so you were telling me you do all yours by hand, don't you?
Yeah, I know. I probably should have a mill to do it. I do have a mini lathe, metal lathe to do certain things, but I definitely want to get me a mini mill, especially doing like getting into the higher end stuff, like using the feathered Damascus, get into the more intricate
Mhm.
pieces. You definitely need a mill on that or a whole lot
The
of tools.
main reason I got it was so when I do my mosaics, it will I can square everything up really, really nice. Everything is extremely flat,
Good
extremely
point.
square to make sure that whenever I do the forge welds and stuff on them, that everything stays really, really nice and lined up. Past like
I
surface
never thought of that.
grinding, past like the surface milling that I've been doing, the only really other time I've that I found it really came in handy was I used a 1/2 inch ball end mill to cut grooves for my ladder pattern. So I don't have to sit there with a daggone grinder. The only reason I didn't do it with this billet that we were working on this week was the one that was having the hardening issues. Was I broke the last end mill that I had, the round bottom end
Oops.
mill. So I got to get a couple more of those, and it'll make it a little bit easier. But just being able to take a straight path at exact depth, it helps really get your patterns and stuff more consistent.
So you're saying you're picky,
I try to be. I guess it's a little bit of the tism that comes out that it's like if
right?
one little scratch is there or something is just shifted just a little bit, drives me nuts. I'm not OCD, but it just, meh.
Um, do you follow Claudio Sobral out of Brazil?
Yes, I do. I do. Mhm.
Yeah, that you look at those knives and then you look at mine and like nobody look at my stuff. That
I
stuff
have a
is
hard time finishing and just accepting, okay, this is done. Like there's always something when I'm looking at it, man, I could go back and fix that little bitty detail. And I'm like, the people I'm selling to aren't knife makers. They don't know to look for those little bitty aspects and little bitty details. Like I had one here recently that I was I epoxied up my handles, got everything worked out and everything, which I had it cerakoted first, and then where the handles made cerakoted, and then I glued everything back up and did the polishing and stuff on the pins. Well, when I was done and I was overlooking it, I realized that I had some of the epoxy shrink, and so there was like a tiny, like maybe quarter of an inch gap in one little section of it. And for whatever reason, it just drove me crazy. And so I handed it to the knife and I handed the knife to the guy and was like, if you can find this problem, I'll fix it. But if you can't find it, I'm just going to let you have it. And he looked over and goes, man, I can't find anything wrong with it. This looks great. And I'm like, okay,
Even
cool.
though
I'm
it's
done.
looking
I'm
at you
done.
like,
Take
I'm right here.
it. So I
Um,
was like, I find myself being too meticulous sometimes, and not just, either moving on to the next step or just accepting that, okay, cool, that's the way it's going to be.
I have the same issue to a point. Like if I get a knife, it's something comes up, you either tear it all the way down and start over, or I do what I call my scratch and dent cell. Start it off low, let them slug it out. If it ends up, close to the original price, hey, they run the price up. I feel more better because they're picking the price on it, not
Mhm.
me. Like I said, I'll put a scratch and dent, and it could be just where the bolster a little bit, a little where the
Right.
handle didn't
Mhm.
set right. Um, Most of the times, if that's the case, I can usually when I set my bolsters on because I rivet my bolsters on. Usually, especially if using nickel silver, you can press it down, it
Mhm.
expands out, and just a little file work, boom, good. But if I get something like the one-off kind of thing, or it's not where it as is like, well, I've got a pocket knife on right now for a scratch and dent cell. One of those because I have to recess in where the pivot screw goes in because I ordered them just a little too short.
Mhm.
They'll work. I just gotta take them in and mill it. Well, when I put it on the end mill to drill to recess it in, it wobbled.
So I had something fall from the ceiling, and I was like, "What
And
the
see,
hell?"
ADHD,
Yeah,
Chinese.
butterfly. I was trying to
That's
figure out
why,
what fell.
folks. That's the reason why bass boats have a glitter finish to catch people like us with money. So it's like, ooh, I thought maybe the missus was in there trying to get your attention.
Yeah, something fell, and then I was like trying to figure out what it was, and then I was like, "Oh, it's just." And then I was like, "Oh, wait, I'm doing something."
Anyway, squirrel moment. So where were we? Oh yeah. So one
Scratching
off.
it.
So it wobbled it out. So when I got it back in the spot, had a little gap. So I had to I filled it with charcoal and carbon fiber dust, and then super glue, and then cleaned it up. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna put it up cheap, let it go for auction wherever it ends up. I mean, it's not gonna hurt anything. It's just I don't feel like I could say, hey, I want 180 for this. Um,
Yeah, so I trouble myself doing that. Like I've had a couple of them where with this EDC series, I probably got six of them laying over there that I either a grind was off or I took the bevels a little too high or one of the pinholes was just slightly too far down or up. I mean, those are the ones that like I'm just like, nope, I throw it in a bucket and start over and just go on with it. I have a hard time saying if it's not perfect, I'm not gonna put it out. So but I definitely should do something like that where just, I'll just drop the price a little bit or try to do the best I can and uh, I move on with it. So
oh my God, kid, oh, hold on, dad moment. Gotta advise nervous child. She's like a half hour ahead of for what she needs to be, which is understandable. I get the same way. If I've got to be somewhere, I'm usually a half hour, an hour ahead of schedule because when it's time to go, I'm like an hour. Like I got everything here done. I can't do it if I start on something. I'm gonna miss my time, be late.
yep.
So I'll just go over. I mean, I feel better just sitting in the vehicle waiting. So yeah, a little bit of autism, I guess you could say, or whatever. Maybe we
That's
should all be
hypnotism.
medicated.
No, I'm running
Oh,
this raw nowadays, man. I stopped doing any Adderall or Ritalin or anything like that a couple years ago, and I'm just raw dogging life nowadays with the autism and ADHD. It's just one of those. I can't do the medications. Don't like them. I'd rather be just
well, if you
autistic
look at
than.
what all that stuff's really derived from, that's all from opioids or some. is it Ritalin a
Amphetamine.
methamphetamine? Yeah.
Yeah, it's an amphetamine.
Yeah, let's give our kids meth.
Well, yeah, it's Ritalin. I think is methadioxylene methamphetamine. So yeah.
And I kind of think, they've been doing, back in the early 90s, when teachers said, "Oh, you might want to put your kid on medication," because they didn't want to do anything to be actually in the job. No, I was just bored in freaking kindergarten. Um, so my mom and dad, when my mom took me to the doctor, and they didn't use Ritalin, they used something that was similar. Mom said it was a allergy pill that would do the same thing, but it made me like a spaceman walking around, so they took me off of it. And I ain't wondering now if like people are. I mean, I think me and you are about the same age, ain't you? About 40?
No, I'm 33. I'll be
33.
34 in July. Yeah.
Jesus, you're that young? God, I'm
Mhm.
old. Well, anyway, for between 40 and 30-year-olds now that come up through the 90s and all that early 2000, people did, pill, just put them on a pill. I don't want to deal with your kid. I mean, some
Yeah.
kids need to be probably just like taken out and beat senseless. I'm not okay. I am not disciplining way, not just to beat children here, folks. Calm down in the comments. Because I was one of those kids that, but government schools suck. They don't educate, they don't inspire. Um, in my area, you pretty much, if you have a certain last name or if your family's got money, you get catered to. At least when I was growing up, yeah, I still see some of that shit going on today. But government schools just sucks. My daughter's looking at my daughter's going through school and everything else. Is like, why are you taking that? What is it? That has nothing. You ain't gonna fucking use that. Pardon my French. It's like Spanish. Okay, if you want to learn Spanish after high school, that's fine. But you don't need to learn Spanish. Well, hey, if you're gonna go to another country, another job line, go study that. Why the fuck are you studying that in high school?
I'll
Oh, it's
just say
because
like
you
in
think you need
English
to
classes and
communicate with
stuff like
somebody
that.
in Spanish. Well, if I'm going
And
to another
English,
country, sorry.
English was my hardest subject. Like I was good with math and sciences and stuff, but like with
Yeah.
English, I mean, other than learning the language, like I have not once in my entire life needed to know what a past participle was.
A what?
Exactly.
Uh,
It's
well,
it's a formula. I don't even know exactly what it is like thinking back, but like I remember like I could not understand when I was in high school like the differences in like the English structure, whether it was like the adverb, verb, all those. I'm like, when have I ever actually had to use that after high school?
I mean,
Never.
other than telling people
Never.
that an assault, there's no such thing as assault rifle because assault isn't. That's how I learned what a verb is.
Mhm.
Is an action. That's what happens when you assault somebody. It's not a thing. So that's the only thing I know about. I even remember telling a teacher, "It's like, so what's the difference?" Well, this, and this. Like, okay, what's that supposed to mean? Well, when you're just like, I don't. I flunked English in middle school. I went to homeschool through high school. Spent a lot of time making more time making knives and selling them than I did in any other stuff. Algebra. Yeah, one buddy yesterday, you use algebra every day. And it's like, why are you putting letters in math for? It doesn't need to be there. Well, it represents the number it's missing. So put a zero or leave it blank.
Mm. I mean, I guess with math and everything, I mean, math is in itself a language as well. So, I mean, it makes it easier for like formulas and things like that. If you're trying to get like the radius of a circle and, I'm trying to think of just off my head examples, but like I found math easier with using formulas and stuff like that than trying to understand English, like the actual like the way language was built.
I
So,
did all right with basic math. When they tried to teach me algebra, I couldn't get it. I still don't get it. And everybody's like, well, use it every day. Okay. I'm still not going to sit there and write down stuff and da da da. I mean, I can basic math, basic volumes, da da da. Trying to figure out concrete by the cubic yard. Forget it. I'll hire somebody to do that shit. Um,
I'm Google searching. Hey, this is what I need.
exactly. That's
But
why we have
like when I
AI
get
for
back in,
people.
when
Now,
I get into more machining here soon, I mean it's going to be pretty much nothing but algebra, trig, and calculus. So I'm going to have to revamp and knuckle down and try to relearn a lot of the stuff again to apply it to machining. So,
especially ordering stuff, some of it's in metric. I look at the
yep.
metric system. Maybe we should have just went that way. And everyone's like, Or when you go in the decimal system, I look at that. Can we just use freaking fractions? I barely
Yeah,
understand fractions.
I
Now
have
I
to
got to
still do
convert it from
that.
dec.
I still have to do that where I take a decimal and I have to go, what is this decimal in a fraction? 0.125. I know the basic, 0.125 is an eighth, but like there, I have to base it off of those. And I go, oh, well, 125, double that, things like that. But like when you're going from like millimeters to inches, Google, like
That's
I
usually
have this,
depending on the temperature, right?
what?
Millimeters, inches. Dick joke.
Lost me. Oh, gotcha.
Depending on
Lost
the
me.
temperature,
Sorry.
right?
Oh, I get you now.
I
Oh, I
stumpy.
went back to thinking about metal and
Well, I
heat
mean,
treatment again. I was
yeah.
like, wait, temperature.
Oh God.
Oh
Um,
man.
People are like, oh, "How my cat? You guys are bad." But yeah, it's when I'm ordering stuff. Like the other day, there's some stuff I order off of Amazon. Yeah, I know it's Chinese shit, but hey, I've got to do what I got to do to get through till I can buy the better stuff. But honestly, I think it's all the same anymore. Anyway,
Most of the time, I go anytime I need a tool nowadays, I just go down to Harbor Freight. If yeah, like
it's either
why would I go
Taiwan
buy
or China.
Milwaukee? Yeah. Yep.
It's just it is what it is. I mean, a lot of the nice supplies are not made in the States anymore, unfortunately.
Mm.
Our high carbon steels are all out of Germany, at least the 10 series. I think a few others, and some of the good stainless, you want to get it from Germany because those guys know their shit when it comes to metallurgy and chemistry there.
Yep. And then your variance between batches is a lot minimal too. I've seen a lot of the 10 series where depending like what I was saying earlier, I try to get from reputable places because one bar to the next or one batch to the next. You order 1 month and then 2 months later you order the same stuff, but it's not the same. And
And I,
yeah,
I found out the hard way with ordering 15 and 20 from Amazon. It's coming from China. And I got
yeah.
it, and I'm looking at this is what the fuck. It said stamped 15 and 20. Like, bullshit. No, you're not. It looked like yeah, it did. When we etched it, it looked like um, I would probably say probably a low 10 series or low grade carbon, but definitely was not 15 and 20 because it
Right.
didn't give that pop.
I
Uh,
did an entire I'd ordered some. It was like when I first started off of Amazon. It was some 1095 and some 15 and 20, and the 15 and 20 came in. Um, it was labeled. Individual bars were labeled 15 and 20. Did up a Damascus billet, put it in there, etched it black and gray.
that's
It
where I
ended
had.
up. It looked like I put 1095 and 1084 next to each other.
That's
And
exactly what I
yeah,
had.
hmm
Same look. China doesn't give a shit. There is to make shit cheap, make lots of it cheap, steal from us, steal from the rest of the world. I mean, I'm sorry, China does not innovate. Other than black powder 4,000 years ago or 3,000 years ago, whatever the hell it was, I don't think China really innovates. They steal and then try to go from there. I mean, shit, it was Clinton who gave them the satellite technology to order to put ICBMs across the world and shit. Thanks to Clinton
I
for
mean, not to
setting.
mention patent infringement and everything else that they do.
Oh,
So,
if you
which
go,
outside of the United States, patents don't matter. So.
oh yeah, I mean, if you move a business to China, you have to turn all your intellectual shit over to them. You
Hmm.
cannot set up and do a business in China without giving. That's why you
That
can
doesn't work
buy.
the other way around, though, too. Them buying land in the United States and all that kind of stuff and bringing business here, that doesn't apply, though, I bet.
Well, I'm sorry, but speaking of buying, let's go into that. So you cannot go to Mexico and buy land as
No.
as an alien to that nation. You cannot buy. You can rent it, lease it for 100 years, but you cannot purchase it like you can here, other
Hmm.
than paying taxes. Technically, you don't really own your land if you're paying taxes on it. But hey, that's.
Yeah.
I mean, we went to war with England for 3% paper tax. Come on.
Oh, don't even get me started on taxes. Oh, goodness. We'll be here all
All right,
night.
here we go. Poke the bear. No, we should not allow China, anybody, or literally anybody else, especially China, because China is our global adversary on all levels, from technology to trade. I mean, literally, they
I mean,
caught
they're
Chinese
buying up
people.
land to build data centers and stuff, and I mean, literally things to literally steal, and
Spy. Well, they
it's
found
yeah.
some of these cheap towers, cell phone towers that they were buying. They found out had backdoor stuff that China was
Mhm.
downloading your data next to military complexes. I don't know if they shut them down now. I'm pretty sure Pete's getting on it.
I
Long
mean, they've
time.
been doing that. They've been doing that kind of stuff for decades with kids' toys and stuff coming over from China. I
Hmm.
mean, children's toys, TVs. I mean, everything is backdoored to the whatever companies that make them. So
Hey, if they want to look into my stuff, there's some. I'm sure there's some Chinese therapists got a good living off watching them. It's like the FBI guy. If you're looking at my stuff, bud, you're going to be in therapy.
yeah, yeah. Good luck on that one. Good luck.
I'm telling just weird thoughts. Hey, what is this stuff? And like, how to dissolve a body or whatever? Just random weird dumbass shit. Oh Lord. Like you said, you ever see that post? Hey, when I die, somebody please delete my browser history.
Yeah. Nah, I say never really done too much on the internet, so I don't really have to worry about any of that crap except for no, not really. No,
Please
never
delete
really
it.
been the what?
Oh, just
No
please.
dark web and no weird stuff.
I,
So
I don't even know how to even get on the dark web. I mean, it's like, well, you go to this thing and that thing, like, okay. So is it dark because there's no light to it?
well, you're not on the regular internet.
Oh,
You're
what's
on a completely different. It's a completely different server. You have to have a torrent that'll access the correct servers, and then you have to go into the server. I've never personally done it. I know how to, but I've never
I've
done it.
listened. I've listened to people talk about it. I'm like, so if it's dark, just turn the light on. Come on.
It's like I set my phone to dark mode. Is this dark web? Is this the dark web?
That's. I literally thought that's what it meant. Honestly, when they came out with dark mode, I thought that's what it meant. Oh
Oh,
God. I mean, I've had people explain it. Listen to people talk about it. Um, I mean, like I said earlier, I mean, if I was on the computer, I was arguing with, I was just stating the fact. My buddy of mine, they're excellent with computers. If I got on here on a daily basis and worked on it and do certain things, I mean, I get in the Zoom stuff because I do it enough. It's repetition, repetition with me.
mhm, mhm.
If I had got an online job, yeah, the first maybe month would be rough, but after that, if I was doing it every day, go in, explore, whatever, learn that, I could do it. And they're like, yeah, no, the way they're kind of arguing back and forth, and I guess maybe again, words mean things, I guess. Um, I was like, no, you're not listening. I'm saying if I did it enough, yeah, I'd probably get a lot better with it. I could definitely learn it. I just don't want to.
Right, right.
Um, I drive truck and make knives and do apparently podcasting now. So,
I'm trying to get into more making videos of my work and stuff. But again, like I mean, even with this, like I'm not really good on camera most of the time. You know, my autism, like my brain runs a million miles a minute, and trying to end up like them. Oh, was that movie Masterminds where the couples take those awkward pictures?
oh yes,
That's like how I feel on camera whenever I'm doing it most of the time. It's just
right.
cringe. So like I'll go
Oh,
back, like I'll do a whole process, take a video of it, and then I'll be like, "Ew, no." There
right. I want to get done here. I did one Monday with Yellow Rose Forge.
you go.
Um, and that was a pretty good one. And listen to him and the Redeem Steel charity and everything else. Listen to what they're doing, and they're building a basically a tech school in down that way south, South Mexico there, Guatemala. Yeah, Guatemala.
Oh, okay.
And then doing that and such. And I'm sitting there thinking, what have I really done with my life? I mean, I do a little charity stuff around and everything. Um, it's just I don't know, just weird stuff. So it's like, man, I need to do something like that. But I'm trying to get back where things the economy gets going. I don't know. I just need to find a different level of marketing other than social media. I
That's
have an
me too.
idea.
I've been trying to find that next step of like, okay, how do I? how do I go from now point A to point B? How do I get to bigger volume, more which I mean my Instagram does okay, but I felt like there for like about a year, I felt like I was shadow banned for whatever reason. And a lot
I
of these social medias are they're picking us knife makers out especially and saying like, nope, you're
we're not no
you're
longer to
promoting
recommend your page.
yeah, you're
Um,
promoting weapons and things like that. Like
Actually,
I
they're not. It's not even telling you why. The reason why, oh, our technology said no, you can't do this anymore. And I need to find a good email or something. I would like to get Zuckerberg on here.
uh, uh, uh,
Just to have a one-on chat says, okay, here's our problem. I don't know if this is something you can rectify because you're the owner of the company, or even if you'd have an idea what's going on or something. How can we work with you to make this better? But give us a fair shot here. I mean, what are we missing here? What are we doing? I mean, come on. I mean, there's got to open that dialogue with him because it is his company. Granted, that maybe there's some minions down in the bottom that's like, "Ew,
Well, I mean,
yeah,
it's not
I'll
even that. I
do."
mean, they're using AI nowadays. Like I had
Yeah,
one where like I put up it was like one of the hashtags I was using was like hashtag knife or edge or something like that. And it was like, oh nope, sorry, Meta, you might want to reword that. Meta won't let you and I was like,
yeah,
whatever. Like
and
even this morning I tried to post a thing to my snap like my private Snapchat story. Went to put up one of the knives that we were working on for the silent auction, put it up there, and it kicked back about an hour later and was like, "Sorry, we can't have this. You're promoting prohibited items." And then, like in the bottom things was like promoting weapons.
well, it's
I'm
not a
like,
weapon.
it's
And
not a weapon.
the thing
No.
is, that's why I said I want to have that conversation and says, hey, I mean, that's fine. All they got to do is just their algorithm with their AI.
Right.
Um, I mean, we don't build weapons. I mean, even if you're a sword maker, uh, you can go buy junk swords.
Most of them are artisanal nowadays.
Yeah. I
You
mean,
know,
then you see all the junk bullshit from like China and the big giant round thingy, the
I'll
hoodoo.
get daggum. I'll get sponsored content that'll pop up for those and
Mhm.
it'll be like promoting everybody else's but then I'll get the hemming up from the AI like they just
Unless
need to
it,
get away from
I mean,
AI.
I can't even advertise on Facebook because apparently I got mine locked, and at the
Mhm.
time I thought you did everything with Facebook through your phone, the app. I later on found out no, some of the stuff you have to use the computer for. I didn't know that until I got into a marketing class, but it's too late. Again, they're the computer geeks. I'm sure they can tell. It's like, all right, da 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 da. Let's turn the volume down on it. I mean, I see Montana Knife Company every what? We got to have a certain amount of big money to spend with you guys or to, get around that. I mean, I'm
Mhm.
not knocking Montana Knife Company because if I was in their position to be able to do that, to be able to advertise it everywhere I can, I would.
Mhm.
I like seeing that shit. When I see that, it's me excited every time I see that ad. It says that's kind of
Mhm.
my goal. Somebody else has done it. It can be done. So let's build up to it. I
Well, I
think
mean,
it's
I remember even 3 years ago when people on especially Facebook we started doing the raffles instead of for sale, they do a raffle
waffles,
or the
waffles.
waffles or the like the silent bidding where it was like a bid war in the comments where the next numbers would go down and it was a bid war in there and they shut that down randomly and like anytime you try to put even if you type in like your waffles it'll kick it, it'll say nope, sorry, you're selling
Well, the
prohibited
algorithm,
items.
the
Yeah.
AI has caught on to it
Mhm.
now.
Yep.
Um, Again, I would like to have that conversation with somebody in the tech industry on that level to, hey,
Mhm.
look, what can we do? Um, and we're not asking for special treatment. Granted, a lot of us are
Mhm.
special, not just because our mommy said so. Um, but sorry, guys, I'm
It
just
would be
saying that.
nice to be able to promote more and actually like not have to say, oh, well, check out my, other page or go ahead and go over here to my Etsy shop or my, which I need to do the web
So when you
pages
do
sometimes.
when you do links, don't put it in the main comment,
Mm-hmm.
the main post. Put it in your comments
Like
from
and it, yeah.
yeah, afterwards, after, because that's what they started doing with a lot of if you notice a lot of like the big news agencies,
Mm-hmm.
they put the link, if you put a link in the original post, it'll bury it. But if you put it in the comments, it leaves it alone, leaves it up there in the higher in the
Hmm.
feed. That's something I learned from
I
Robert
should check that out.
Garcia. Thanks. Shout out to Robert Garcia. He's deployed in the state. I don't know if that's called deployed in the. He's he's an Air Force Reserve guy. He's on assignment, I guess, in the States. He's not deployed overseas, I guess. Is that a deployment within the States if you're
I'm not sure. I
Oh,
wasn't
I don't
military.
know. Hey, comment below in the comments. Let us know what that means. I guess on assignment. We're gonna say he's on assignment. I don't know exactly what he does, but he can't wait to get home. He's been gone for God 2 or 3 months now. So
Well,
doing
shout
Air
out to you,
Force.
bud. Appreciate your service
Yeah.
and all
Yeah.
other veterans and
Hey,
members.
he's got his little comfortable chair and his little AC, and I'm sure he's got caviar being Air Force, and he's got the little mustache now. Hey, all the pilots started wearing it, so we started growing up like, yeah.
They
He's
gone
down
full
there.
Top Gun on us.
Chair Force, I like to give him shit like that. He laughs about it. I try not to do it too much. But shout out to Robert Garcia and Shift Magazine. That's a cool thing to get into. I was on that too. So Shift Magazine will be back this fall. Um, God, I know there was something else we were going to talk about. Oh shit, Ibogaine. We were talking about Ibogaine earlier. You want
Oh
to chat
yeah,
about
yeah.
that?
I'm sure. Yeah.
So, what's your thoughts on Ibogaine and the other therapeutics and using psychedelics in treatment only? I don't
Right.
recommend anything recreational. Definitely not Ibogaine because if you try to use
Yeah.
Ibogaine recreational, and you're probably going to kill yourself by stopping your heart because it does have, from what I understand, cardiac issues, and that's why they mix it with magnesium.
And
Make
also, these are all our opinions. We are not medical professionals in any way, shape, form, or fashion. So,
Yes, thank you.
I mean, my understanding of it, and it's been a couple of years. Of course, I've been clean of drugs for, I mean, almost 7 years now. It's 2018. And but like, I mean, the use of like, say ibogaine or you know, I wouldn't even say. Some people try to say, "Oh, LSD like helps expand your mind," and that. I mean, psilocybin does. I don't necessarily think that LSD does, but like I've seen a couple friends of mine who and some service members that I've seen that for like PTSD, it can help rewire the synapses in your brain. It gives you a fork things, helps you release from it. I mean, there's still quite a bit of research to do going into what it actually does within like the confines of your brain. But I mean, from my personal experiences, I mean, if I could handle it ever again, I would do it in very, very, very small microdoses, maybe every 6 months to a year to try to just have a mental reset. But unfortunately, I got dosed really high with some LSD back in the day, and I don't ever trust myself
I
to
wouldn't
try
have
it
a
ever
clue. I've
again.
never done
Yeah,
any of that stuff before, but
no,
I've been offered
it's
it.
scary.
I'm
It,
like,
it there are
no, I could
points
see
in which
myself in
some,
the hospital somewhere. Something
yeah.
bad happened. I mean, I used to be the, drinking this, teenager, whatever, 2 beers, and I was ready for a nap. That's how much of a lightweight I am. So, but
But with the ibogaine and like even like say like microdosing psilocybin would be like I've heard really good things about the effects for PTSD,
Mhm.
like helping rewire your brain, helping and a lot of people use it for getting off of certain drugs as well. Like if you're on any type of antidepressants or opiates or anything like that, that it can help block the negative aspects of it, like the cravings, the mental um, stresses and things that come along with it. From relapsing to the cravings and all that. So. I know there's quite a bit of research still being done on it,
well,
but
our
it's been,
brains with DTM, which is psilocybin, right?
excuse me.
Psilocybin, no, or is DMT?
Oh, DMT is a completely different monster.
Yeah.
Psilocybin's what's in mushrooms. Dimethyltryptamine is DMT.
Okay, I had my confused. It's like you could do this the one stuff that's
Yes.
the extract from the root that is the DMT stuff,
So
correct?
DMT activates all of your brain. It is actively in every living organism, every plant,
Yeah.
it is the God molecule. Um,
And that's why they say when you take it, you can see God. I don't know about that.
so what I would say the difference is mushrooms and LSD are what we call an inner body trip. You stay within yourself. I mean, you may have some, thoughts that trail off. DMT is not. DMT is a full outer body experience. Like I won't go too deep into it because I'm not trying to promote it, but it's one of those that
What we're doing
I
is just
left.
basically having that
Yeah.
discussion of
What
it.
I used it for in the past
Hmm.
was actually shortly after my really bad experience with LSD, my mother dying, and a couple other things that were going on in my life that I used DMT for, um, and was able. I mean, it when you fully dissociate and your brain, I can't understand. There's so many aspects. I'm trying to say it within words, whatnot. DMT will activate almost every synapse in your brain at the same time. Um, and it's such a prolific experience that well, for me, when I came back from my experience, my problems were so minimal. Like all of my worries and woes and what was bothering me and whatnot just seemed so small after that. But I mean, it does do things with helping rewire your brain for negative thoughts, depression, all kinds of stuff like that. So,
And that's one thing I understand, especially with the ibogaine, is a step higher for those who have a drug problem. It says, like, well, you take all the guys that went through it. Well, did you watch when Trump did the executive order and they had everybody, all the veterans from off the side that went through it for PTSD, drug habit, and they say with people that, again, this is, I'm just repeating what I've listened to and heard, that people with drug issues, drug addiction, one treatment is about 80% cured of that problem going through ibogaine. And
mhm.
it and from listening to these guys' testimony, and even Rick Perry went through it because he's been promoting. He went through it. He had some kind of brain lesion or something. I want to say it was due to like whiplash, or he had some kind of
Like a contusion of some kind. Yeah.
contusion or something like that. Anyway, something to do with your brain. I want to say something to do with like it sounded like to me, oh, concussion type stuff, concuss.
Mhm.
I think that's what it was. And he went through it and listen to these guys. It sounds like a horrible experience. It can go from 8 hours up to 72 hours, depending on your body chemistry. Um, Not fun at all, but the effects afterwards, people come
Mhm.
out of there. They don't touch alcohol anymore. They don't even sugar. Sugar is very addicting. Um,
Mhm.
Gets that dopamine. Corn syrup, I think, is worse than sugar, 5 times worse. But listen to these guys and listen to their testimony and everything else. It's like, it's kind of proof in the pudding here. Granted, our government, we got we got to study this. Well, that's where I get worried when there's their studies. It's just another way to, hey, we get to spend money, make money off of people.
Mhm.
My concern is pharmaceuticals companies are going to try to get in there and weave it to that they only have the gatekeepers on that. It's just pretty sad that our veterans got to go to Mexico to order to get this treatment.
Right.
We should be doing that here.
I
I,
mean, yeah, I definitely think that with especially PTSD, I think that that should be available. I mean, it's depending on person to person, which a lot of those, any type of ways. I mean, there's even like ketamine therapy
Mhm.
nowadays that people are using, which is like, small dose. You go down to an office, you're there for a couple hours, they administer it, you're watched entirely, like I think that, for sure, if the research is as hopeful and already showing as well as it can do for these types of specific instances, I don't see why it shouldn't be available. You know.
Matter of fact, I did see that the Sean Ryan podcast show, Sean Ryan show. Shout out to him. I'd love to sit down and have this conversation and learn from him a little bit
Mhm.
more about it.
I wish I knew a little bit more chemically about it. Like I've looked into it. We had that discussion yesterday, kind of about it, and my history, and like and you were your struggles as well. Um, and I wish I knew a little bit more about it. To actually have form it a little bit more informed opinion.
Well,
So.
I guess they were petitioning, like just like the Ibogaine initiative in Texas.
Mhm.
He's doing the same thing with it. That bunch is doing the same thing there in your state in Tennessee.
Oh, okay, cool, cool. I'll
So
have to look into
they're
that.
and yeah, check that out because I saw it popped up. I think he's not too far from you. Um, Man, wouldn't that be a trip to get on his show? I mean, I don't know if I have anything really offer to talk about. It would be cool. Granted, yeah, it'd be a little bit of self promoting, but I think I got a interesting story to share. It'd be fun. Especially in being that I'd be terrified as hell if I got the phone call from either Joe Rogan or Sean Ryan. First of all, they're going to have to get on a feed here and make sure it's actually them than somebody trying to joke me around. But that would that would be awesome. Um, but yeah, I just listening to the testimonies. If you ever get a chance, go listen to Joe Rogan podcast with Rick Perry. They did an updated one, but the one that's about a year old when I first started learning about this stuff.
Mhm.
Go listen to that. And
I
the
think is that the guy that wears the headband that goes to all the different countries and does all the weird? Is that the guy who was on Joe Rogan's talking about the Idle game? Because I think I've seen
I
that
mean, they
episode.
talked about it, but this is
Yeah.
Rick Perry and another guy. Actually, this guy I think is from.
Oh, okay, on it. Yeah.
I think he is from Tennessee or Kentucky. It's one of those guys that well, if you watch the video of Trump signing the executive order to get him the FDA to hey, let's declassify this down to this so we can start
Right.
studying. When he speaks, you know it's him because he's got that voice. You just it's like Paul. Listen to Paul Harvey. You remember Paul Harvey?
Mhm.
When he starts speaking that kind of voice, it commands your attention. I mean, listen to
Nice.
his testimony about himself and his wife that went through the ibogaine treatment, the DMT treatment through down there because she apparently after having one of the children, her hormones. Women, God bless them. I mean, I'm glad I'm a guy because I've seen it with my ex-wife. Between kids, just like a switch, something with her hormones go wild, and that she went through that. And listening to that whole thing was like, all right, there's something to this. I want to know more, and that's why I
Mhm.
ask about it. Um, Again, for medical purposes only. DMT. God, that's an extract from some kind of root, and I can't think of the name of it.
It is Mimosa hostilis.
Is it starts with an S, right?
It's derived from Mimosa hostilis.
Okay.
Mhm.
There's something I want to say. It starts with an S. So I want to say salvia, but that's not.
No, salvia is a completely different chemical.
Okay. So
Yeah.
something else. Okay. For some reason,
Yeah, so it comes out of to Mimosa hostilis root bark is what
okay.
it's derived
For
from.
some reason, my mind's got DMT tied to that. So look, I'm learning. Um.
Yeah, no, and then like Mimosa hostilis, it's grown around. People used to make root beer out of it.
Oh, that's right.
And yep,
Yeah.
and the mimosa hostilis root actually is like a wellness beverage. It can actually get you a little giggly and whatnot. As far as I've heard, like the old recipes of the way that they did it. I don't know about nowadays. Haven't
That's
never
right
really
because
tried
the
that.
the, the root beer root is
Hmm.
relative to that. I remember. Okay, I remember that.
Hmm.
I remember reading that somewhere. Um, so if you get the wrong root, you're gonna have a really, really good time. If you get the root beer, you're
Well, I'm not sure exactly. I've heard the research, but they used to make root beer out of it, and I mean it smells just like the sassafras, which is the what's that root beery smell.
yeah, that's
Um,
Saparilla. Sap,
Saparilla, yeah. Sorry,
yes.
not sassafras. Sassafras, Saparilla. But with the mimosa hostilis root, it does have that same kind of earthy, pungent smell to it. So
Hey, I
they,
took a
which
shower
another
this
one.
morning. Thank you very much. But I
Uh,
don't know. It's just like government's just standing in the way. Even here in Utah, there was a doctor who was trying to push it in the state. Hey, let's use these, using psychedelics in a therapeutic way. And of course, then the all of a sudden, then the Utah County Sheriff's DA decided, wow, we got to start investing in this guy. It's like he's trying to help people, you jackwagons. Of course,
yeah.
Utah and the LDS, and we can't preach from the pulpit. We got to use the legislative to control people, which absolutely cannot stand. But that's just my
Yeah.
opinion.
It's like the whole Milo stance on weed is just like, why do they even fight it anymore? Like, it helps so many different aspects and whatnot. Okay, yeah, I definitely don't agree that like it should be accessible to kids. But like, if I can go out and have a beer, I have no see why there's any reason that, especially Tennessee, and I'll say in Tennessee, is we have some of the best soil, some of the best way areas to grow of anywhere in the United States, and I watched Colorado, and the first year was like when they legalized it and like did like the test run on how much money they could make off of it in revenue. And it was like $1.3 billion in revenue in the first year or
And
something
the
close to
roads are
that. Some
still shit.
ridiculous. And I'm looking at Tennessee as like, well, I mean, guys, I mean, other than like, we had it's a very Christian state, the more religious people and stuff like that are out here that are saying no, the whole reefer madness thing.
Which was a
But
complete
like,
lie.
yeah, William Randolph Hearst ran the smear campaign to protect his
The paper
the
industry and the
timber
cotton
the
and
timber industry. Yeah.
timber and the cotton and
Mhm.
whoever invented the nylon rope because hemp
Was
um
gonna take over all of that.
yeah, because they and then the machine they did because before, I mean, to make hemp fibers into clothing, which it's kind of funny back in the day when they moved to St. Pete County, the Saints moved into St. Pete County. They had something hit, and the sheep all lost a lot of their herds of sheep. Again, this is a story that was shared with me that I
Mhm.
heard one time years ago. So the sheep, as they came into the valley and they settled and everything else, something happened, a frost, a disease, something rampant, killed a lot of the sheep off. Well, that's what they used for clothing, naked the wool.
Mhm.
Well, a lot of them had hemp, and they grew hemp in the old country and everything, and knew how to separate it by hand. It's very intensive work.
Mhm.
But there for a lot of years, in the first early years of settling Utah, they grew hemp up there and made clothing
Yeah,
out
it's
of it.
almost hard. It's hardy as hell to grow too, so it's like it wouldn't die compared to other things.
Yes.
So,
And I think it's kind of funny. It's just not all that. It shows you what propaganda can do to this
mhm.
day. Something back in the 30s, mainly because they bought off a couple senators. I mean,
Mhm.
that would never happen in government, would it?
Yeah.
Uh, oh, and so it's just, somebody was worried about it, everyone's like, "Oh, we should grow hemp and everything else." Yeah, it takes a lot of land for that, but we should only grow it for certain things. Matter of fact, you can actually see pictures. I can't remember somewhere where you can find the pictures, but you can see you can tell the difference in the clothing they're wearing because it was made out of hemp,
Right. Mhm.
hemp. And it's I. This is what my belief system is. I believe in God, believe in Christ. Everything on this earth is put here for a reason. Like anything else, can be abused. It can
Of
be
course.
used in the right way, in the good way. When you start abusing stuff, you start opening yourself up to the dark side of things, the dark side of the paranormal, the devil, and all his legions or whatever, the fallen
Mhm.
angels. Um, uh, Slavia, using certain psychedelics, you can, if you're using it in the wrong way, you can open yourself up to forces that you really shouldn't if it's used in the wrong way. Again,
Mhm.
especially how you frame your mind, how you're going into it.
Correctly. Mhm.
Um, I think it can be used all in the proper manner. People's like, "Oh, you shouldn't drink alcohol." Well, what about the wine thing? I think, like me and my buddy JD, he lives not too far from you, truck driver. We've talked about it. He says, "I look at the Bible as of all in moderation. Not
Mhm.
to excess. Yeah, have a glass of wine, but hey, coffee can be bad or water.
Mhm.
Drinking too much water,
Mhm.
can kill you. So all things in moderation, using the right thing. I think the psychedelic should be used in therapeutic only. I don't think
Mhm.
we should definitely need to make sure that the pharmaceutical companies can't corner it like they did on the cure of cancer. That's a different subject. But yeah, I don't know. Just my thoughts, my 2 cents. I
All
mean,
right. I mean, I was raised Christian Baptist, and then I made I
I got
was
my cents right here.
and I was raised Christian Baptist, and then when I was in my early teen years, I would if I was to classify myself in anything, I'd say I wouldn't say I was atheist, but I would say I was more I guess agnostic. You could say it's like I'm gonna live my life my way. I was raised with the Christian values as a kid. My parents were supportive, and like I didn't like the whole church aspect. I didn't like going to church, the whole preaching. Me as a kid, I was very literal. With the autism and stuff, everything like I was, it had to be literal, and so like I I saw the Bible especially as one of the as a tool and the stories in there to teach people how to be a better person in life.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
I never really found Jesus in my heart. You know what I mean? So I'm a very much more of a science driven person. Physics, astrophysics, quantum entanglement, quantum mechanics. Um, so like I mean, I struggled a lot with that when I was growing up. But I mean, I definitely see the values in them. And I know that a lot of the influence around our area, especially with laws, any type of litigation and stuff like that, is very, heavily influenced by the, Southern Baptist ways, like, the religious side of Tennessee.
And which
So the
kind of goes against
whole,
the whole free will thing, because that's one thing I've kind of learned too with God is you have your free will. Jesus is here if you want to accept him or not. Um, yeah, I mean, it's not like the other bunch of that, if you don't convert, you're going to love your head. Christ said, hey, either believe me or not, I'm here. When you're ready, I'm here. Um, that's how I believe. And I mean, I grew up in a family at LDS. My whole family
right?
from to
Mhm.
LDS. I think my parents were more libertarian before libertarian was really a thing.
Right.
And I went to a Baptist friend. I used to go to a Baptist Bible camp every summer. Loved going there. It was a lot of fun. They had horsemanship, they had archery, they had riflery, they had arts and crafts. Um, and then they had tons of games. And yes, we did morning Bible study, and then we did every evening we had church. And I tell you what, some of the best sermons I've ever heard is from the visiting pastors that would come and do that. Pastor Greenwich, man, that guy would just wow. If I could go back to my childhood and experience that again and listen to that, I loved it. I think when it comes to religion, I think there's a difference between faith and religion. I think faith in Jesus is way better than a religion. The problem with religion is not the religion; it's actually people. People, I don't are misunderstood because we're trying to interpret word of God. Yes, did the
Right.
prophets have a little bit more understanding? Guess yeah, because God probably changed them up a little bit. It's like when I was listening to Joe Rogan earlier today, they was talking about some bush that was burning, and they think that had the when you read that in, it was like DTM or something like that.
Oh, DMT. Yeah.
DMT, yeah, sorry. Gotta get it right here. Let's write it out here. But I was like, okay, I look at that. All right, I get the science behind it because there is science in religion with faith in God.
Mhm.
I mean, some of the, but then most people don't realize it, and a lot of them won't. A lot of the big time scientists and oh, what is that? Oh, for hell's sakes, the high level of math, the quantum level
Yeah, quantum mechanics.
scientists, they have a belief in God in their way. They're like, yeah, there's definitely a God. Um, I look for I starting to see patterns and such like that. Everyone's like the evolution stuff. Like, yeah, I'm sorry, but I just don't see it because especially if you're breaking down a deer or an elk or such like that, and it can be broken down in such way. It's like that was engineered. I'm sorry, but no, no.
Mhm.
Is that what say that it was made that way to be able to be broken down? I'm probably going to say so because life eats life. Like to quote Joe Rogan, life eats life. If you
Like
look
I
at
said, the reason I wouldn't classify also myself, like I said, an atheist is because, I mean, if I was to die right now, wake up and pearly gates and God was there, like, hey, I'd be like, all right, dude, you got me. Yeah, I would accept that. I mean, wholeheartedly, I would accept that.
well,
But I don't know. I guess maybe I never had my full coming to Jesus moment in life. So
that's all right,
you
and there's
never
nothing
know.
wrong with it. I mean, if you ever want to chat about it sometimes, I'll be glad to. I don't know if I can lead you the right way or not, but or to do the way I should say. Is it the right way? I don't know. But one thing I like my buddy's wife. I think it's kind of funny because and this gets into paranormal things, and since we're getting the
Mhm.
paranormal, we'll bring up the Sasquatch because we were talking about that
There
earlier.
you go.
Um, some people believe that when you die, you're sleeping Jesus, you're just asleep. I'm sorry, but your soul leaves your body. I've seen too much. The in Native Americans, the spirit world. Different people I've listened to over the years. Coast to Coast AM, loved that. Art Bell, wish he was still here. George Noory, he's all right, but Art Bell was the king of the paranormal. I don't. Do you ever remember listening to Art Bell and the Coast to Coast AM back in the day, early
Yeah,
'90s?
vaguely, vaguely. Yeah.
You were just a little baby back
Yeah.
then, but I've seen too much. When we die, we don't go. Everyone's like, "Oh, you go to heaven." Sorry, even in the Bible says it in Revelations. You don't go to heaven until the final judgment day. Your spirit goes to the spirit world,
Mhm.
or purgatory, or whatever how you want. You get the good side, the bad side. I think there's different levels of it. Every now and then, I wouldn't say physically looking and seeing it. Like sometimes I see spirits in a way. Of course, some people, oh, it's just a demon trying to trick you. I'm like, I don't think it's that complicated. It's like people saying about UFOs, disclosure. Oh, that's just proof of angels and demons. What? I'm sorry, but angels and demons, yes, can they disguise themselves like that to trick you? Yes, but I think it's a little more involved to it. I mean, there's extraterrestrials and such like that.
Good.
That's just my thought process. It gets a little more weird in my own head. If I could probably show it on a TV, people probably have me committed. You know what I mean? So now
uh,
we're into the paranormal. Bigfoot. What do you think?
I think it's a possibility. Or like I've heard the ones of like, oh, rabid bear standing upright, all the other different ones. But I mean, like I said, I'm much more of a literal person. So it's really hard a lot of the time. Like I get friends of mine that like we've gone to the cemeteries and feel the eerie feelings and like heard the little whippings in the woods, but never seen a UFO. I've seen weird shooting stars and things like that, but like in my personal, I've never seen that. In Tennessee, we all joke about the skinwalkers and the cryptids around here. Never had an experience myself.
Aren't you
So.
lucky? Um, UFOs. I've seen some objects.
Oh, I definitely think that UFOs and aliens are probable. I see it improbable that we are the only planet out of the trillions and
Oh,
trillions of, yeah.
I've heard story, people talking about in the Bible and the Book of Mormon and such like that. Even Christ said that there's many. I have other flocks of people, but basically making the reference of different sheep, not only on this planet but other words. I've read that there's many worlds out there as a grain of on a grain of. There is many worlds out there as there is grains of sand on a beach. Thank you. There we go. Got
Yeah,
it
yeah.
out. Um, man, is that just a mind-boggling to think of that? I mean, I think
It's
we're on the
it's
latter end of,
incomprehensible. Yeah, the scale of the universe is just incomprehensible. Like it's literally impossible to imagine the scale. Yeah.
right? I mean, and everyone's like, well, what does this have to do with bladesmithing? Welcome to Behind the Anvil discussions. We have these discussions when we got meet different people. We're sitting and having a beer and we talk about
Knife making,
knives.
politics, religion, Sam Squanches, you know.
But it's like, so if you're out and there's some cool stories of out in Tennessee. Matter of fact, I'll send you the link to the Spotify. You got Spotify?
I don't know.
Okay, I'll find it. I'll just send it to you. You can download or whatever, or you can
Cool.
find it on YouTube. This guy's a investigator, journalist, I guess, and I guess he was law enforcement at one time, I guess. Well, anyway, I've heard him before years back on Coast to Coast and such. Um, you got to listen to this episode. It's really cool, and that's why I bring up the whole. Hey, if you were out in the woods hunting, fishing, hiking, whatever, and somehow you came up and found something in a cave and it turned out to be the holy grail of the cryptozoology specimen, if you found a Bigfoot body, would you, or remains, I should say, just say remains of a
Mhm.
Bigfoot, that I mean, me and you could look at bones and we know we're looking at real bone, or fake shit. I mean, we played enough dead animal parts that
Well, I mean, well, if we're going as far as saying like we're gonna at least do DNA testing to prove it's not a human, things like that, because I mean that's what you'd run into. How would we know if it's actually a Bigfoot without, doing a DNA test and saying, okay, well, this is not human?
I'm pretty sure. Well, actually, that's the discussion on this episode. I think I don't think it's an ape. I thought it was an ape, but I think it's more a relative to us. I wouldn't be. I
Hmm.
think it's a. Oh, what is that other bunch of humanoids that were
Neanderthal.
Neanderthals?
Hmm.
Um, I think there's going to be a big difference in the bone structure.
Right, right.
Let's just say, hey, you look at these remains, it's definitely a Bigfoot. You put it all together, you look at the size of the
Yes.
femur. Let's for spectatory,
Yeah.
and you're like, you got that burning feeling in your side. You're like, this is Bigfoot. Would you report that, or would you just cover it up and walk the other way?
Uh, I think you got like a real. If you did tell anybody, it would be like Roswell. You
I
didn't
think
even if it is real, like they did the whole Trump declassifying the aliens and all that, saying it's real. It's like it. If you weren't there, everyone would think you're crazy. And then if you said, "Oh, well, I found it," and then I turned it in,
congratulations. All that big announcement. Daisy got her first job other than working for herself.
let's go.
Woo! Yes, I will help you. Holy shit, that's a stack.
Well, the very last part is the employee handbook.
Oh,
And then
okay.
I need pants with no holes in them.
With holes in them?
No, with no holes.
We'll figure that out.
And then we need to get a copy of my birth certificate. I know you have one.
Yes, I have one.
But
Yeah,
for them to keep.
I don't. Okay,
They need a copy, or they can copy it, but I don't trust them.
we'll get them a copy. We'll take it out of the farm.
Okay.
I don't know why they need a birth certificate. Maybe it's because you're under. Okay, all right, that works. Awesome. Sad time. Congratulations,
Yeah,
Daisy.
good job.
Um, but it's like I listen to different programs where people say, well, there's cameras everywhere. We would see something. Well, yes, there might be tree cameras or anything like that. Again, I think people are more worried about public humiliation than they would actually. I mean, maybe some people are just like, I want to. There have been so many hoaxes over the
Right.
years. I think there's some pretty damn good footage out there. I'm again speculating. If I had some good video of a Sasquatch or Bigfoot, and I knew I mean, it was just like 100%, I think delete. I wouldn't say shit personally.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, that's yeah. I mean,
Have you
really. I mean,
have you been on
nowadays, especially
Facebook
with
when
AI
the
and
people
yeah.
arguing shit and like you put out something down there and the people just ridicule you? That's the reason why granted that Bigfoot probably is an interdimensional being too. So
No. Uh, Or like I said, or if it's one of those, it's one of those like you said, it's like a Neanderthal, another type of human that happens to still be around. But the hard part about what we if we found one, would there be more?
well, if they
Because
found
if there's one, there's definitely have to be more than one. So that would
and
be
then
the next thing is where I decide to try to seek out and find more information about it, or like you said, just okay, cool. That's a memory just for me. I ain't
yeah,
gonna tell
I'm not telling
nobody.
anybody shit like that because you used data to prove that you're just a
Chat
no.
GPT, man, come on.
But I don't know. I don't think I would tell anybody. I don't think I would even tell anybody in my family because you've heard those stories of people that did find bodies or again coast to coast stuff. You hear those stories and the Black Hawk helicopters show up, the feds show up, family gets threatened with inch of life. You ever talk about the
Right.
skin?
Yeah.
You get that
That's what I was
stuff.
saying. It'd be like the Roswell incident where they had the whatever, and then that whole town was built around the supposed site and all that. Like that would end up be happening. Like if I saw one walk through my backwoods, which I've got a couple acres here that I've got, if I saw one walk and I said something about it, I guarantee you there'd be Blackhawks showing up, and I don't want any part of that.
Right? Like, no, you don't need to know what underneath that tarp in that greenhouse, girl. No, just kidding.
Or people coming to, oh, they're going to come try to trespass on my property because, they're going to come see if they can find him. Like, no,
So
no.
I I'm gonna say with all the stories stretching back, thousands of years with the natives and such, and they're just another people, maybe another tribe of humans. They're like, well, how missing? Well, shit. You go to South America. They just found a tribe here, not too what in the last 10 years. They didn't know about.
Right. Yeah. I mean, like, there's definite possibility. Now it being necessarily in North America, the only places that I could see it being is, upper West Coast towards Alaska, maybe, where there still is vast amount of land that isn't developed. Here in Tennessee, I doubt it. You know,
If
anywhere,
they are in your area, they're probably migrating. I would imagine. Same here in Utah.
or
There's
living in all the cave systems around here.
Yep, and
Yeah, we got lost. There's like six different massive cave systems that are just within, 30 miles of me. So,
matter of fact, I had a book here on a CD and a book that went with it. I'm not sure if it's up here. A guy that oh, man, I wish I could find that. Is that it right there? Yep, here it is. I found it. So, yeah, I'm sure you can find this online. It's called the. Can you see that? All right.
Bigfoot observers. Okay, yeah.
Um, this guy, the Bigfoot observer manifest. Again, this right here puts it in the point. He talks about think about taking. Let's take our top like our SEAL team guys and the Green Berets guys that the elite of the elite, and you take them in, kind of make him like a super soldier, kind of like Captain America. And you put him, you give him some kind of pill that gives him an enzyme that you ain't gonna get giardia or eat bad meat or whatever. I mean, these things can literally survive. I'm gonna say on a dog diet. They can eat stuff that we can't, and they're gonna sick and die. So you do that. I mean, these guys know how to avoid us. Um, I do think they probably have a little um, kill, psychic. Let's just put it psychic. Kind of not really
Yeah.
verbally communicate, but I think they can make you feel it. People that report of having close encounters get real uneasy and make you get all sorts of dizzy. I don't know if you ever heard these stories or whatever. Um, Again, I'm repeating stuff I've listened to over the years.
Right.
It's like South Park, the brown note. They got an air sac, and make when you get the brown note. You know what I'm talking about? When you poop yourself, people said they defecated. I mean, predators do that to other animals. Animals get that weird everything. They defecate because something uneasy because predators will do that to do their prey and everything else, or to chase other things away from their territory. But again, the brown note. Sorry, South Park. I that because I was talking with my cousin about that. Yeah, the brown note, and then he reminded me of that episode of South Park. Um, South Park's awesome. They piss off everybody. I love it.
The nobody's off limits on South Park, and I love that. Like the newer seasons are a little, and not as I love the older seasons, like between one and like season 10 or 12. Well, like I grew up on those cartoons, so
Game. I mean, hey, like Charlie Kirk said, if you made it on South Park, you made it. Hey, if they want to put me on South Park, I would love it.
let's
I mean, I'd
go.
giggle. I would make T-shirts. I was on South Park. Tell guys if you're ever listening to this, if you want to do an episode with my dumb ass, I don't give a shit what you do. I don't care. I'm gonna laugh my ass off. Um, I would want a trophy after that, but I don't know. I think Bigfoot, and it's Robert W. Morgan is the guy that does it. It's a great listen to. I've got the book here somewhere. I'll have to listen to that here again. Maybe I can find it on. You can probably find it online, but just a way that you can, if you do his techniques, they say in the areas that you will have an encounter, maybe even get abducted by aliens. I don't know. They could be an interdimensional being, or they have ways that we don't understand to
Yeah.
hiding. I mean, literally, we were talking about turn something sideways, even though it was right here in front of your nose, and it just goes like this, it disappears. It's like taking that pen, you set it down, you set it down there, it just moved 3 inches to the right or left, it's gone. I don't know. RJ's probably like, I don't know if I'm agreeing to this much more.
No, no, I'm just trying to keep up. But
um,
I mean, like I said, the I definitely think that there are the possibility of it being around, but there are a lot of, with our technologies and stuff nowadays would be kind of, which I'm kind of on the fence of being the opposite side, saying, well, we do have satellite imaging of, almost every square inch of the planet, but then you said they just found the tribes that, out in the middle of the rainforest and stuff that they had no clue that were there.
yep. And
So,
um, well, even if our government did find a tribe of Bigfoot somewhere, do you think they're going to disclose that to us?
no, it'd be just like the aliens, no?
And matter of fact, I mean, I don't know about Tennessee, but I know in Utah, they actually passed a law. There was enough evidence to convince the legislator at the time, and I think this is like 20 years ago, that as you can't kill, harass, or molest Bigfoot. Uh,
That legitimate Utah state law.
yeah, there. I believe.
That's wild. I mean, I used to live in
Look,
Provo and I didn't even know that. That's awesome.
oh, somebody. God, my phone's all lit up with things. You're sorry. Um, Utah laws. Let's just Google this to double check because again, I never read it. I've heard it.
Utah
Like,
laws on Bigfoot.
yeah, Utah laws on protecting Bigfoot. Bigfoot, not big game. Again, this is secondhand stuff that I've.
I thought I heard about a law like that in Oregon too. That like if you ever found one, that it's illegal to shoot one.
Let's see. Okay, well, according to Google, again, if it's on the internet, it must be
Right.
true, right? Utah doesn't have any specific laws legally recognizing or protecting Bigfoot, as the state does not officially acknowledge the existence of the cryptid, not cryptoid. Good Lord. Because Bigfoot has not been classified, recognized as an animal or wildlife species, there is no state codes whatsoever. Okay, well, um, while Utah itself does not protect Bigfoot, some Pacific, big long word, MUs, whatever, or localized jurisdictions in the United States ordinance regarding cryptids. For instance, Sacamega County in Washington finally passed an ordinance in 1960 declaring it's a Bigfoot refuge, must make it illegal. So I guess,
Yeah, it was is it Washington State? Yeah, it was Washington or Oregon. I remember that they did have a law that said if you ever found one, it is illegal to shoot it. Yeah, that
because
you
you could
can't hunt it.
probably, and if it is a human, if it's a cousin, I guess you would say a cousin to humans, you could probably get charged with murder. So, so I'm gonna say probably there is probably something you got to dive into it again.
Yeah, you
Um,
end up shooting 7 foot tall hobo Jim that's just been hanging out in the woods for the last 20 years.
which is up in Washington. There's a lot of that people up there too. Um, I don't know. I think probably in the percentile that 90% of it, yeah, 10% it's probably interdimensional being. But I think Bigfoot is probably a creature that's out there and is smart enough to stay away from our dumbasses.
Right.
Yes, we have tree cameras everywhere, everything else out there. Um, if there is, and some people got absolutely, oh matter, I'll get this part out and I'll come back to another thought. Um, have video footage that it's 100% undeniable. I guarantee it's been deleted because
Right.
most people are not egotistical. They see that, nope, delete, 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 or it's somebody in a costume. But when we were staying at the Ronald McDonald's house when my daughter was in my second, not Daisy, but my other daughter passed away 16, 17 years ago. God, it's been 17 years now. Was talking to them. We were watching History Channel all together, hanging out one evening, and there was, I can't think, it was Finding Sasquatch or whatever it was. I think we were
I remember
watching.
the show. Yeah. Mm.
This one gal, she started chuckling. She's like, "What?" Says these idiots don't know what they're doing. This is all TV. It's like, I kind of figured. This is what makes you say that. It says, and they were from the reservation that's right there on the Wyoming Montana line. She says that there's areas that they're small. She says they're smaller and more aggressive tribe of Bigfoot there. I can't remember.
Hmm.
She said a certain name, and they're close to where the tribe will go normally hunting. And when they go hunting at the hunting season, somebody has to stand at the door all the time, because if not, they come in and they like to toss everybody around in the cabins and such. She says, I could take you places, you'd see one, you'd shit yourself and never want to tell anybody about it. But
Right.
she says they're real. So
Hmm.
there's, according to that lady, a nice family and everything. We made good friends with them. Um, but I don't know. Anything else you want to share? I guess we're getting long on the tooth here. Holy shit, it's been 2 hours. See
Oh,
what
has
happens.
it? Dang, time
Right.
flies. We're having fun.
So we're gonna dive into the part words of wisdom. Anything you want to share in the next couple minutes, and then we'll walk her out of here.
I mean, we've hit about every point I think we chat about. So,
Anything I may have not have covered and you want to say?
I mean, like I said, we pretty much covered just about every tidbit we discussed over the last couple of days. So,
Awesome.
like, yeah.
Well, any words of wisdom that you want to share, and where they can find you again on your social?
Yeah, again, Ron Goble over at Hitman Customs, Knoxville, Tennessee, and check out my Instagram at Hitman Customs.
I'm sure you could probably find him on OnlyFans or Only Blades or Only Smiths, whatever you want to call it. Just sounds good. Buy a knife, guys. Support us. Keep us off OnlyFans. Cause I mean, I'm sure women would love to see him on OnlyFans. Me, not so much. Pay me to keep my clothes on. Hey, thanks for joining us. This will drop not this Monday, but the week after.
Sounds
The
good.
first Monday in June, I think. I don't know, I have to look at the calendar.
Yeah, that sounds
31st.
better.
That's probably when it'll drop, I
All
think.
right. Well, heck yeah, man. Appreciate the invite on, man. It's fun. We'll have to do it again.
Yeah, definitely. We're gonna set up another round table, so I'll probably when we get closer to that, we'll drop that in there. I think people are a little busy, especially
Okay.
getting after Blade Show. I'd like to get a few guys. We can just go around
You're
table.
gonna make it down to that or no?
Yeah, I wish.
Yeah, I was hoping to maybe do Saturday, but it's like a 3 hour drive. It would end up being an all daggum day thing, and ugh. So I'm going to try to plan for next year to do one of like if everything goes well this year with the business, I'm going to try to do at least a table. I don't know if I'll do like a full big booth or anything, but I'll probably at least do a table hopefully next year.
If
So
I go, I'll just be a spectator and just walk around and visit everybody.
same, yeah.
Maybe take my computer or something, doing some recording there, and then put it on the podcast. That'd be kind of fun. I love the pit. I missed going to the pit. Is awesome. The pit's if I might have
I
had.
haven't been to one yet. I've been dying, and if I've thought too that if I don't go to the one here, I want to fly out and do like a weekend the one in Vegas. So is there a Blade Show Vegas or
No,
where's
it's
the
Salt
one that's
Lake.
out?
Like,
Or Salt Lake City? That's what
yeah.
it is.
So if you
The
come
other
down here,
one
you
that's out
better let me
west.
know, damn it. Because I'm only 2 hours away from there. So
Oh, for sure, for
that was a
sure.
good show. I went and did that the first year they had it here. It's permanently here. You got Blade Show West, Blade Show Texas, and Blade Show Atlanta.
Texas is the other. That's the other big one. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, I mean, I'd like to get out there. Just whatever you do, don't take any gummies from Steve Kazatz, because I learned the hard. I about to eat the whole thing, and he's like, "Wait, doesn't
Hey, don't you threaten me with a good time?
right?" Well, it was like 300 milligrams of it, and he's like, "You ever had that much?" Like, and he's like, "No, take a little bite of it," and even that little tiny quarter of it, it hit about 4 shots into it of whiskey, because it was my birthday and we were celebrating anyway. So
Nope.
we still don't know how we got exactly back to the hotel.
Oh,
So
those are the best nights. That's how I
yeah,
was last time I went to Vegas.
Oh, all right. Hey, shout out to Hitman Customz. Thanks, RJ. Appreciate it. Remember,
Absolutely.
bladesmithing.com. Order a knife. Keep us off OnlyFans. Help support the channel. You can get on there and you can find, I think there's a PayPal link somewhere. Um, yeah, I think that's it. Stay sharp, America. And remember, there's only one king. That's Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. Have a great day. Be blessed. Keep your blade sharp. Order from both of us. Please keep us off OnlyFans. At least like, you don't want to see my feet pictures.
Oh God. All right.
With that,